Let's do a
Hello.
podcast.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I didn't realize we were that about to start.
You said you were ready.
I know, but I assumed that there was going to be
A build-up.
count off or something. I don't know. I don't really know what I imagined, but
Okay, 3, 2,
fine.
1. Let's jam. Hello and welcome to BonkTable. I'm Mass, and today with me is my lovely co-host Cassandra.
Hi.
Hello there. How you doing?
Oh, I'm despite the new everything coming out and me going, I really want to play Conquest, and then not playing Conquest for a week. I'm still really excited to play some Conquest.
Yeah, well, it's only been out for a week since time of recording, so not even a full week. It's like 4 days, so we got
A business week.
The businesses are moving. Time is money.
Exactly. And you know what? Now that they fixed the rules, you can literally always be charging.
Yeah, that's true.
Range permitting.
So quick thing on Parabellum news. We're not going to go super hard into this. Is that they are releasing new 2,000 point starter boxes or like full army boxes for people to buy on their web store. A lot of them are actually pretty good. Like the Nords one is basically everything you want as a Nords player, while the Dweghome one is maybe not everything you want as a Dweghome player.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they vary a bit. I only glanced at them in all honesty because I don't know that I'd necessarily want to buy one myself, but just to see what's on offer. But I mean, you kind of get the Wed Rune one looks pretty good too. Like you get the fundamentals there. I feel like so. The thing in general about the PB army boxes versus other companies and their gift set boxes that I've seen in the past is that other companies want to, like, they give you a deal, but they still leave you hanging. Like, you still have to buy more stuff. And I mean, you still have to with these boxes. Like, they're not absolutely comprehensive, but you do get a decent 2,000 point army, like something that you can build and play with and then, fuck up and fix. I mean, again, there might be ones that are weaker than that than others, but for the most part, like, you're getting, an army's worth of value at the very least, and that's a good position to start from with most of these games.
There's also usually like a good amount of savings in the army boxes as well, I've found.
Oh yeah.
Like I believe the one player starter boxes would have 4 regiments. I think there was actually $100 worth of savings in there. So but majority of the time there's actually, like, you do save money buying the boxes instead of everything individually.
Yeah.
So I do like that from Parabellum. Okay, you want to talk about our topic?
Yeah. Wow. This is I've never seen you so businesslike.
Well, because we have a lot to do, and I want to drink coffee, and I started playing Foxhole, what's like a World War 1/2, like.
Oh, isn't that the one where you have to do supply lines?
Yeah, I was in a tank crew this morning. I was having a ton of fun, and then it was like, oh yeah, I got to record.
I want to try that. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. I sent it to Brian, and he bought it, so he's gonna play it later.
Nice. I might fuck with that. A game. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's fun. But
yeah, it sounds fun just because it's a cool take on a war game. I was gonna plug an indie game that I like, but I mean, we don't really have to do that. We don't have time.
Plug your game.
Pretty busy. It's called Streets of Rogue 2. The demo just came out on Steam. The first one was like a roguelite mixed with an immersive sim. And now this one is like a big open world game. Actually, I haven't played the demo yet. That's the thing that I'm going to be impatient about this to go to afterwards.
So we have a reason to get this done in under 2 hours.
Yeah, people are going to be thrilled with this. They're going to start buying us video games just to keep us busy.
They're like, if we buy them the games they want, they'll get to the topic faster instead of having fun.
Yeah, which we're not doing by talking about all this, but
Streets
of Rogue. Yeah.
I wrote rough instead of rogue.
No, that's the game about Winnipeg.
Oh yeah, okay. I can totally see why this looks. This is okay. Yes, I'm. Yeah.
It's sick. Yeah, you should even check out the first one. It's super good. But the demo just came out for the second one, and it's basically developed by one guy, which is really impressive. And they're just great games. And I think more people should play them. I have no affiliation with the guy or whatever, and I mean, 4 more people are going to hear about it because of this podcast. But
good.
But still, I give it the wholehearted Cassandra stamp of I think that's fun.
Is that going to be our new podcast? Talking about indie games. There's so many people talk about indie games and indie reviews.
Yeah, that's a pretty crowded market.
Yeah, we need to find.
What if we reviewed movies, but get this, we got a little silly with it.
How silly?
I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that.
Should we watch like bad movies and I have to start drunk, so I gotta like drink 2 to 3 booze to start before I get into the bad movie?
Listen, actually, yes.
I could
Let's
watch
do that
Twilight
one
then.
night.
Oh god.
I know so many shitty movies that we could watch. Like I think you maybe perhaps have not considered what you've
unleashed.
Delivered yourself into, because I get like I'll get a little bit drunk too. I don't give a shit. That's bad for everybody else, but I don't mind. I have fun.
Okay, we found out what we're doing this Halloween.
Yeah. Oh man, have you ever seen Hereditary?
Yeah.
Oh damn it!
You gotta try a little harder. You gotta understand, horror movies don't freak me out, and so this is the thing between my mother and I. My mother requests all the horror movies from my father, and he like gets them for her, or he like finds them on streaming or whatever. And she watches them and she loves them, and then I'll sit there and watch them, and then we'll try and get him to watch them, and he fucking hates it every time. And so now just do it to troll his ass.
No, I'm gonna scare you for Halloween while we're both pissed drunk.
So what do we have to watch? So I watched Tusk when I was in college. Human Centipede was weird, but it didn't fuck me up as much as Tusk did. Like I watched it during lunch break at college, and I didn't want to I didn't want to leave the classroom to get to the cafeteria to go get my lunch and come back. I thought someone was going to kidnap me and turn me into a walrus. I was like, oh no!
Interesting. Isn't that movie partly set in Winnipeg or like?
No, it's set in Manitoba. It's the True North series from Kevin. Oh, he's the
Kevin Smith. It's Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll make you watch Pontypool. That movie, I thought it was going to be like I remembered it being not that scary, and then I watched it with like a bunch of my dolls one night, and but the human ones, not anyway. Sorry, I wasn't just sitting there with a bunch of like stuffed dolls
because you explained to me the.
Yeah, and then I realized like a bunch of people are just gonna be like, "Oh, did she sit there with a bunch of Monster High dolls?" Like, kind of, but
you just had your Imperial Officer body pillow followed by your Lineage Highborn body pillow.
It's a Sonic body pillow, actually.
Oh God! No, go. Please continue.
I was just gonna say we watched this movie Pontypool. It seems to be not a super popular movie, but wow, just incredibly well constructed and perfectly paced and just like flawlessly executed movie. Just like from the first minute to the last minute, just a banger. One of the best movies I think I've ever seen. Actually, on the second watch.
Damn. Another.
Anyway, sorry that this is Cassandra reviews everything.
No, that's fine. What was one of them? Sushi Girl. I remember that one from when I was back when I worked at a restaurant when I was a teen. I got together. They were like one of my friends was like a huge horror significato and was like, we gotta watch Sushi Girl. And so the basic concept is like a bunch of Yakuza members order a sushi girl while they're torturing a guy, and she has to lay there with the sushi on her while they like go torture a dude and then come back for sushi.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's an interesting premise, actually. I thought that was going to be much dumber, but there's at least.
It was fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. See, the thing is, if you want to scare somebody with horror movies, like, you have to play fair, because there's, like, if somebody is like, oh, horror movies don't scare me, and they don't have a lot of experience with them, like, you just show them, like, Martyrs or something, and, like, you're going to get the job done. Almost certainly. or like funny games or Serbian film, but those are just
You know-
cheating because you know they're gonna work.
You know what like strung me along for quite a while? Witch. Like with the 2 V's.
That's a good movie. I like that one a lot.
It is. I bonded with one of my friends over that movie. It was the day after New Year's, and we're coming out of our drunken stupor, and I go down the street to the Starbucks, get coffee and like 2 brownies, and I come back, and I know he doesn't eat very much, so I like gave him a brownie, and we hadn't spoken yet, and he like puts on The Witch, and we started watching The Witch together. That's kind of how we cemented that friendship.
Nice. That's I just rewatched that one actually.
It's a great movie.
And it's a lot of fun. It's see, that one's barely a horror movie to me because like nothing really too scary happens.
No,
It's
nothing
just, like,
happens, but the movie
just
like
tense.
like leads you on for so long that something's gonna happen.
It's cool. Like I mean, everything about it. It's very atmospheric. Like it's very fun to watch. The world is enjoyable. The like the shots are all really lush and like beautiful to look at. So it's a great movie, but it's a baby horror movie. Like you could show that to anybody.
Yeah, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love it, but
I always love the goat at the end. He's just being a dickhead.
yeah,
Black
Phillip kicks ass.
Yeah, well, I have a Black Phillip Franco Pop. It's in my library.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's sweet.
That rules. All right, well, back to Conquest.
Yeah, there we go. That's what everyone wanted.
Yeah,
I think that's what people actually show up to listen to, is just us talking about shit.
I do I do think so, but nobody wants to admit it. Everybody wants to be cool for it.
I get messages. I've gotten a couple messages where people are like, they appreciate how down to earth or real we are compared to other content or podcasts. So I'm like, oh, thanks. At least we have a niche.
Yeah, that's what no rehearsing gets you.
It really does. Okay, so core rulebook, page 21, supremacies. So for everyone's information, the priority roll and the bonus is no longer tied to the who has less or more cards than the other player.
Gone, baby.
So it's just tied to whoever lost last turn will get the bonus. So whoever went second will get the bonus. So if you win the roll off, or I guess if you tie or whatever, I guess if you lose and you maintain, you get the priority, and then next turn you roll and you get the tie, and then you bump it to second, you maintain that second until you go first. So you could hold on to it for a while potentially.
Yeah, it's
I have heard some complaints this will make horde lists or goblin style lists stronger because now they're not being punished for having like 15 cards in their deck. But
most of the armies that you wanted to run horde, like you could mitigate reinforcements. So
not necessarily.
I don't
if you rolled all your stuff in.
It's like I would run high activation Nords lists and never worry about stuff not coming in on reinforcements. Now, granted, that was before they cut out a lot of the flank and everything that is no longer in the game, as far as I know now.
There's still
a decent amount, yeah.
There still is. It's starting to spread across factions.
I just so I don't. It's not. How do I say this? I don't understand why they made this change now. It just seems like it was kind of just like it came from left field, as they say. Versus everything else where we kind of had an idea, I feel like, based on what was going on in the rules, what was going to happen with this revision.
So this one, I'm not like, I don't mind it. I don't mind that you can kind of, if you went second last term, you get the bonus. So there's a chance you can go first. Because there's been times where it's like I've had less cards than my opponent, and I keep losing anyway. Or I have more cards than my opponent, and I keep losing anyway. And it's like, damn, this game would go a lot better for me if I could win supremacy at some goddamn point. But I've gone second the last 6 turns, and now we're on turn 8. Like, god damn it. So there's a lot of that, and so it has a chance to even out that, even if you have, because a lot of players usually end up around between 10 and 12 cards, So when people start losing regiments, they're only like 1 or 2 cards away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see too many like low activation elite armies, or you see too many horde style armies at like 15 cards. Like between 10 and 12 is kind of the average. So with that change, it actually, or not that change, but with that average, it makes more sense to do this type of priority roll.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and it just, I know I've been on the receiving end of just like, well, I've only won 1 out of the nine rounds. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, and I've come in as like a 12 card Tina and just won every initiative roll, even against a lower activation deck. Because like realistically, like the old rule only really favored like, you only had a 2 in 6 chance of getting any use out of that change, and I guess really it's about the same now. It's just the way it's presented, but like it's just weird. It's just I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I
don't have a strong opinion about it one way or the other is the thing, other than that like it feels strange that they made the decision to do that.
Yeah, I don't mind it all. I think it'll pan out much better as the game goes on. One of the like when we get to like Nords and Wadroon, we're gonna talk. We're gonna spend some time on them because they're the big ones. But every other faction got touched in some shape or way. But we also know a lot of reworks are coming out, so it's kind of like another season of Conquest after this Worlds. But yeah, we're gonna find out how all those other factions fall, because I'm kind of like seeing a divide from factions that have been recently like gotten stuff compared to things that haven't been touched in quite a while. Like you can tell they haven't been touched in quite a while because they're not doing anything. There's no finesse. There's no pizzazz. I'm flicking my hand.
Yeah. They're not juging it.
Yeah. There's no. It's just they're like.
There's no zing.
There's no zing. They're just filthy peasants on the street.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of nothing.
And we know a bunch of reworks are coming, so I'm kind of like. I kind of want, like, if this is the way Parabellum was going to go with this supremacy role, I would like to see more of the factions reworked before it was implemented.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of stuff like that. Like, you know, when you get a critical mass of factions reworked, let's say 2/3, then you implement it, and then it's like, oh, okay, and then it's like, okay, and then next month or in the next 2 months, the other factions are going to get reworked, and then we're going to be caught up, and everyone's going to be like, yay! So, like, there's kind of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like we've sat long enough on that thing.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it pans out, but it's a weird one.
Page 25. No more regiments can never perform more than 3 actions in total during its activation. Sweet. However, out of sequence actions, yeah, anything that's out of sequence you can perform multiple of. So if there's a draw event which says you get another clash, Spires. If there's a biomancy which says you get to do a march action, Spires. If there's something that gets you a free reform supremacy, somebody, I don't know. You can do those because they're all out of sequence. While you can't Vanguard March Fluid Reform anymore if you had access to that.
Yeah.
So
you could do dumb stuff though before, like even in late 2.0, you could with Fluid Reform and then Fire in Advance on Raptors, like you could do. You were up to 4 actions at that point, and I'm pretty sure you could squeeze another one out of there too, and you could do that with other stuff too.
So in 100k, you had the double time and Fire in Advance, and you could Imperial Officer with Unimer crossbows, Vanguard, March. Sorry, I guess you could Vanguard, March, shoot, Fire in Advance move. Actually, you could put them on. Was it Imperial Ranger Corps who had the fluid? So you could Vanguard, March, shoot, Fire in Advance, Fluid Reform. There's 5.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Conquest. Yeah, Conquest is essentially a game of what you can't do, right? Like
what you can get away with.
Well, kind of, but it's like you can do like 4 things in any given phase of the game, depending on like the state of the regiment, whether it's engaged or not. It's like 2 sets of 4. There's very few actions in this game. It's almost impossible to move in anything other than a straight line forward. Maneuvering is difficult. Any terrain is a strong consideration for how you have to move. Enemy regiments, of course, can be absolutely show-stopping if they're wrong place. Like, what I mean to say is essentially, in so many words, is this is a very, like, amongst other things, positioning heavy game. But that's the thing. It's like you're trying to accomplish what you're trying to do in spite of all the realities that are happening on the battlefield in this game, more than, say, like 40K or something like that, where you have abilities that let you sort of supersede the situation on the battlefield. So the problem is, when you all of a sudden can do like 2 moves and a big spin and then shoot your gun and then like 3 more moves and a reform, like now it's getting easier to do the things that you need to do. Like even just with fluid in the mix, like fluid on Fenner, you could do really goofy stuff. And I did it all the time in hunting packs.
Ridiculous.
Stupid Vanguard with the fluid. Get out of town.
Yeah, it's dumb. Stop it.
If they had just made if I ever win the big tournament, which of course is never going to happen, then what I'm going to ask them to do, since I guess that's a reward as we discussed, is I'm going to tell them to make a special rule called Mannheim Drift, and it's just it's a second action fluid reform instead of a first or final.
You can fluid reform at any point during your activation.
Well, it's just like you can move and then fluid reform and then move again.
And then fluid reform.
Yeah, if you have it. But anyway, it's called the Mannheim Drift.
It's only on Beast Pack, Goater Beast Pack.
Yeah.
You can drift those hogs.
Yeah, drift and hog, baby.
God, you have not fought Commander, I believe his name is Commander Gaius on Shadow of the Urcher yet.
No.
I don't know if you'll ever get to that boss, but when you do, you'll be like, oh god, now I understand what the hogs do.
Oh, he power slides that hog?
Oh, does he ever power
Drifting
slide
that hog?
He drifts that hog hard. There's plenty of times where I enter that boss arena and he is like pile driving me into the ground with his hog.
Well, you know something, Mass.
Yeah?
I know a little thing or two about that myself, so I'm not so worried.
Okay. You want to know something interesting about marches, though?
I do.
So characters have lost their march, and now everybody gets to follow their regiment. So we don't have any reduction of speed, thank God, because that was so annoying, super annoying.
There's a war game. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just gonna say, there's a principle I've observed in war game rules that's universal to universal in the sense that you see it manifest in any game system made by any company at any time in the history of the game that we can observe, and that is stupid granularity. Okay. So granular rules are good when they make the game better, but sometimes because game designers are very often stupid nerds, they want to overthink it and add a bunch of bit registers essentially in the rules engine that just don't do anything. They don't make it better. They're just there to be on the surface, and a little ball either goes through it or doesn't, depending on how everything is like set up in this metaphor. And you're supposed to feel like, oh wow, what a great design that is, because it's fucking on the surface of the machine. But anyway, that was a tortured metaphor. I don't give a shit. My point is, though, like adding a move stat to the characters to make that either to, I guess, potentially mitigate some of the pairings that you would put characters into. It was just like, it didn't make the game better. It wasn't something that people wanted to think about, and it wasn't intuitive to think about. So I'm glad it went.
So the big thing that bothered me about it all the time was that there were characters that were March 5 and had a bunch of March 6 regiments that were being put in and would slow that regiment down. And then the devs would make those characters March 6. but they wouldn't do it for other characters that also had the same problems in other factions, and it was like, cool. So those guys over there are the same speed as their guys, but my guy slows my guys down. Like, sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I watched you give additional march stats to characters. Why don't you just, either get rid of them or make them all the same march? But then the Seek New Escort. It's like, we don't even have Seek New Escort anymore. It does not matter.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that was a rule that I liked. But
because you'd run away the character or accidentally break the regiment, or even better, accidentally shatter the regiment.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, even then, like, I liked... It gave you a little bit of flexibility in terms of, like, what regiments could take which characters that doesn't exist in the game anymore, and I know why they took it out. Because of what I was doing with it. Specifically, and other people as well, but definitely the stuff that I was doing was why it had to go. But like that to me is fun granularity.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, either give them the same, like, whether you're eliminating their speed or just making it uniform, or whatever the solution is, like, it accomplishes the same thing, which is just like you don't have to remember if your Conanier is on his second heart attack and just needs to go a little bit slower so that he doesn't, like, doesn't get it going a little too hard in the heat of battle, and like, so I just got to go like a little slow, guys. Like, you go ahead, still with you, but and then they're like, no, we
old
can't.
Man Connie,
it's okay, man. Yeah,
slowing everyone down. They're like, oh, Grandpa's coming to fight.
Yeah,
that dude will fuck someone up.
He will, but in Grandpa time.
Yeah, in Grandpa time. Another good change though is that PB has clarified the rule of if you're inside someone, you have to march or charge out of them, and you can't just like sit in them, shoot or clash, then leave. You have to.
It's bad manners.
It's bad manners to be shooting while you're inside somebody. Did that kill you? Are you dead now? Huh?
I'm.
Yeah. What?
You got me. I guess, you know what, honestly, if you just go for it, it does kind of defeat me, so you cracked the code.
Yeah. What else? They have also finalized what a pivot is, or the closing the door for charges, so charges actually legally work now, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And they have a diagram showing it. So on page 34, you can see it on B of or figure 3.11. We'll actually show you what the closing the door motion is, and that you can pivot backwards to get that finalized motion. That's it.
Yeah.
Facing had a bunch of changes. So it's all from the front ranks. So you don't have that weird, like, corner to corner case would come up with like monsters. And then there's this like new 51% rule that I haven't found. I remember also a chariot stand is one stand. They keep bringing that up. So I haven't.
Well, I mean, you gotta beat it into their heads. Oh, let's look at reforms for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna read it off because I feel like because I actually haven't yet, and I'm not gonna understand it if I skim it otherwise. But I want to talk about it either way because I think we kind of maybe I just whipped ahead too far. If so, I apologize. I thought this is.
Now I understand the facing thing for the charging regiment. So basically, it takes your front rank, not. So if you had like a block of like 9 guys and you put, are you in the flank, are you in the front, and that diagonal line from the charging or the to be charged regiment would go through. You only check the front. You now no longer check the amount of guys all behind it to find out if you're in it or not.
That's good.
Yeah, so it cuts down on like checking the like 6 dudes behind the front rank to figure out where that line goes.
Yeah, it's that's one of the. It was the old way. It was really it was fiddly and it annoyed me, and it seemed like no matter how I positioned my guys, they just were never in the right position to get like into the side of the regiment that I actually wanted them to. Oh, yeah. So this feels like that's hopefully going to make that a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah, and so so the single stand regiments are charging where the majority of their stand is in, rather than choosing to charge at a side where only a small part of their stand is in. Oh, so this is where the 51% rule comes from. This line here, it doesn't specifically say 51, but that's basically 51. So I guess like if you touch a little corner on the stand of the monster, it can't like get you in the flank anymore. It actually it just majorities. So it clears that up, but like when you're straight down the middle, it's like, well,
sounds like the tyranny of the majority to me.
Yeah, anyways, and it's up in the air, and at that point, I would just let my opponent choose. Like I wouldn't care if it was like down the middle or close enough to the middle, where it's like you can't easily define it.
Oh, you're not going to get out the laser measurement tool to see exactly what percentage of the facing of your stand is in which.
I have thought there have been only twice in my entire wargaming career where I've wanted to go to work, grab a total station, set up a total station in the store, shoot the edges of a regiment to get its area, and then shoot the line from the like bisecting to be charged regiment through that to find out like its percentage. So the other time was I was playing War Machine, and it was to determine the center of an AoE off of a drift, and if it would be in or out of a piece of terrain was a trench, and if the center of the AoE is outside of the trench, it doesn't hit, but if it's in, it does hit. And it kind of, and my opponent and I are arguing at the point I just like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to get blasted to death, and I'm like, well, I'm going to hit you. And he's like, well, no, it's not. And I'm like, no, I still hit you. And he's like, no. So it's like, yo, whatever, fine. Can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Please tell me about reforms, though.
Yeah, let's get into reforms. Because this has always been, I've always been annoyed with how the explaining of reforms is played out in light of these resolutions. So let's see if this is going to be an Angry Cassandra podcast. Hold on a second. I think I'm going to sneeze. No, we're good. A reform action allows a regiment to change its formation, its combination of ranks and files. A reform action, just like a march, can be performed more than once during a regiment's activation. To do this, a reform is broken down into 2 steps that are performed in order. 1. Stands in the reforming regiment may move to or from other ranks adopting a new legal formation. See page 13 for more on legal formations.
You do this every time.
What?
No, continue, please.
But no stand may move more than its march characteristic. New ranks can only be added to the rear of the regiment in this way. For all intents and purposes, the stands count as moving, and so cannot end up overlapping with another regiment or come within 1 inch of an enemy regiment. 2. The regiment may rotate using the regiment's center up to 180 degrees. Unlike a combat reform, the center of the regiment must not move as a result of the reform action. They fixed it!
Yeah! So I reread, for all intents and purposes, the stands count as moving, and so you cannot end up overlapping with another regiment or come within 1 inch of an enemy regiment. But you can overlap your own regiment, but you then have to march out or charge out.
Yeah.
So this sounds like you can't reform into your own guys, then march out as a second action. The 1 inch to an enemy regiment makes sense, though. That's
fine. I don't mind the no overlapping, just because like it's not a hill to die on to me.
Yeah.
But the important thing is they codified how much you can spin your regiment around, which was the point of contention for me, because it got so gummed up with clarifications, this rule, that like it was not clear how much you could actually wheel the regiment or rotate it, as the case may be. Because I mean, when I would do combat reforms, if nobody was arguing with me about it, like I was hitting like 180s, like 270s, like I was going crazy with it.
Well, think about it. 270 is just a 90 on the other side.
No. Let me have my fun. I was hitting 360s off that shit.
Hell yeah! Everyone's going around.
Yeah, just bang 360'd it, just to flex on them. But now it's not a full. At least like I don't know. I miss being able to do like a full spin, but splitting it up into halves, I guess, makes it so it's not just like a. It's fair. I guess is all I have to say. I can't really blame them for adding that limitation to it.
So then we get into shooting, and they basically fixed shooting as well.
You sound mad.
Well, yeah, because Skillin pulled some nonsense out of his ass the other day, like not the other day, but like probably a month or two ago at this point, where I was like, "This does not fundamentally work. Like, this is not how shooting works." And he's like, "Yeah, it does." And then I talked to a bunch of people and checked it with a bunch of people, like, "Yes, it is." But now it actually works how you probably think it works, and not some nonsense. So you check for obstructions. Okay, so I don't know really how to explain this very well, but once again, just reread the rules.
So wait, me or just the audience?
Just the audience. So basically, you check from like the center of the stand to the center of your opponent's stand, and if there's anything that blocks that or obscures it or that line, to target center stand on that regiment, you are either obscured or you're obstructed. Obstructed, you can't shoot. Obscured, you're half shots, and it follows that line. It's no longer like if I have one stand behind the woods and it's in range of one stand of my opponent's regiment, but it goes through the woods, but the rest of my stands can see my opponent's regiment, that means that one stand gets clear shots. No, that motherfucker is shooting through the woods. He does not get clear shots. And that was the one that came up. I'm just annoyed about because it was just so stupid. It was like, this one guy can only reach this one other guy, and it's through the woods. It's like, yep, but the rest of the stands can see him, so it does not have shots. I'm like, that's not how those guns would work even remotely. So yeah.
Well, that's that. Like, I mean, that's similar to how in like in 40K, if you've got one like laser javelin sticking out from behind cover, then all 30 guys in the enemy unit can pour fire into it. Even if they're behind, like on the other side of a building. Oh no, I guess it's not that extreme, but still, it's.
No, I've seen that happen in 40K. Don't worry.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, it's like it is better if obstructing and obscuring are more of a factor.
Well, you can't get around it as easy anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. They clarify broken. That doesn't really matter. Not that it doesn't really matter. It's just a clarification in it. I'm looking for. I know they did some stuff to magic. What's this? Character stands positioning. Yep, that's been clarified tons. It's basically beside the command stand. They've also now said that after the character activates, you draw the next card. They've called that the entourage activation. That's what I believe everyone's been calling it. So no,
it's called Seize the Day.
No, it's entourage.
No, fight me about it.
It's in the rule book.
I'll kill all. I don't give a shit what's in the.
Oh my god!
You know what? Some things in the rulebook are rules.
I will package you and mail you to Leandros, and you can go talk to him about it.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Send me there. I'll get things fixed right quick if I'm there.
Yeah, you'll be stuck in a crate with a bunch of hay.
Do you think that's the worst thing in life that's happened to me so far?
Probably.
That's a place to sleep to me.
It's like, oh, soft hay. This is so nice.
Yeah. Soft hay in a quiet, warm box.
Yeah. It's on a freight plane.
Nightmare. Well, it's full of hay.
Yes. Hey. So another one, stands for scaling. So scaling is now the same as resolve. So before, people didn't remember what the scaling stands were, and it was basically whatever resolve was +1, and that was to allow your character in the regiment to not have more casts required to cast on those stands.
Stupid granularity.
Yep. Well, it makes sense, because then it's like, okay, you now have an MSU with a character, and now you have to get one additional success to give yourself a buff. That kind of sucks. But because a lot of people were always forgetting what it was, including myself, they've just made it the same as resolve.
Yeah.
So 3 or less, 0. 4 to 6, 1. 7 to 9, 2. 10 plus 3. Done. So it does make characters and MSUs having to get 3 successes instead of 2.
Yeah.
But it does make it really easy to remember, so we can get rid of 1 tattoo off the body.
Laser that shit off.
Just put another tattoo right on top.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Aura of Death, blah blah blah. It's literally the same. They just clarified it a little more. Oh, so Aura of Death. So it's no longer on a stand by stand basis. So if you're Aura of Death 2 and then you have 3 stands into your opponent, you're not doing like Aura of Death 6 to them. It's now just whatever that number is. So if it says Aura of Death 4, your opponent's just taking 4. And that's from... It doesn't matter if the stand is 10 stands big or if it's 1 stand big. You're just taking Aura of Death 4.
Yeah. I was in, like, I mean, I played with Droon, which was a trample heavy, and still is a trample heavy faction, so I feel like I can own my opinion about this, but auto hit abilities needed to get reined in, just across the board, so this is good.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. What else? Indomitable and Tenacious are now X rules, so they'll have an X value. You're going to see a lot of Indomitable and Tenacious 1, but occasionally see, like, the 2s in there. I'm dropping.
I like that.
Yeah, makes it a little nicer. I know when we get to Nords, the figurehead is Tenacious 3 against range attacks. I like that one a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I think it's a great implement. Like, it's a great enhancement of those rules that actually really adds a lot to the game.
Lethal Demise no longer does resolve. Yay! Fuck.
Yeah.
I had Strict exploded as Steelforge, and I rolled so bad that I had 1 Steelforge left. I was like, sweet! This is amazing.
It also, I just saw that it doesn't, unless I'm misunderstanding the wording, it sounds like it no longer creates the feedback loop.
No, it no longer creates the feedback loop. Because you could literally take 3 wounds, explode upon your opponent who takes 3 wounds, who explodes back to you, takes 3 wounds. I think it did that, or is it only on clashes? No, as a result of a failed defense roll. Yep. So you could literally lethal demise each other to death.
Yeah, and I mean that was a cute rule, but it also, like, I don't know. It was messy because you don't want to have to go through and, like, resolve
3 at a time.
Yeah, or whatever at a time, and, like, usually the units that like, if you're playing a lethal demise unit into another lethal demise unit, like, typically they didn't have really strong stats, so
it's 2 Strix they were hugging.
Yeah, or like Strix into fuck, I don't even remember. Braves, Blooded.
No, they don't have
events too. Well, they not anymore, but they used the aberration used to give them.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, and so, but yeah, it was like they'll just fucking, you know what, all over each other.
They'll explode. Whoa.
Yeah, they'll just I'll choose diarrhea all over each other. So just back and forth, because that's how that works somehow in this analogy. Anyway, it's fine, but that probably needed to go, so it's good.
So this goes kind of back to War Machine. So back at Mark 1 War Machine, there was, I believe it was Bane Warriors or Bane Knights. Basically had a rule where when one of them died before that guy gets removed off the table, he gets to, like, fight back and he'll make an attack and kill a guy. So they would, like, 2 Crix players would just trade their Bane units into each other until there was, like, 1 survivor or they were all dead. So it was basically the same thing, and they got rid of that rule because people would lose track of whose turn it is, what part of it are they on, because it's, like, the back and forth. So unless Lethal Demise killed you all in one go, it could get real messy really quick, and I do appreciate that change.
Yeah.
Phalanx regiments get +1 defense and resolve from the front. Nice.
Big time.
Still can't inspire, but at least they get a little bit more resolve, so those uplight blocks are a little better now.
Yep. The March value +3 stuff is there. I think one thing I've noticed is there are, like with, and we'll get into it later, but there are a lot more charge fixing rules than there used to be. Well, there's one additional one, which I think technically doubles the amount of charge fixing rules in the game that aren't supremacies. So
what's the other one?
Oh, Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, where's that?
That's in the Wood Like, that's their rule.
Okay.
But a couple regiments get it. So
is that the thing? Is that famine or war?
I didn't actually notice if the chant line gave it, but the Thunder Riders have it. and the Warbred have it.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's just a fix +5, which we should have saved for that segment. But
Well, we'll talk about it again.
Why? What's the point? We covered it.
No, we have not remotely.
No, we're done.
And lastly, Trample doesn't do resolves. That's it. So don't have to deal with that nonsense anymore.
Yeah, that's another fix. Like I've benefited immensely from Trample throughout my wargaming career, but no, it had to get fixed too.
Yeah. So that's kind of the core rules. A lot of cleanup.
Yeah, it's the rule revisions just to the core rules have all been stuff that was sorely needed, and they didn't really, aside from the one decision that I don't have a positive or negative opinion about. I just can't wrap my head around. It's overall like just a win. Everything is working better than it was. In some instances, the game has now been rendered like playable. So that's a huge win. Yeah, so you can actually get into combat and enjoy that critical component of the game.
Do you want to charge? Do you want to actually charge? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you can't. There's just no way.
Do you want to go down the list? You want to start with 100k and work our way down, or?
We can. I thought I was going to. I thought we were going to go through the big ones, and then.
Do you want to do all the big ones, or you want to save those for last?
What do you like to do?
So for myself personally, I like to go down the line because that's just the way I've opened up all these PDFs, and then I can close them when I'm done them, and I'm not jumping around. Or we can just start like going wherever. We can just pick one at random.
No. It's Let's not be crisscross. Let's not jump around.
Okay, I'm pulling.
Sorry, that one's for the
number generator.
30-year-olds up in the house. I thought we would just go down the list. That's what I meant. I meant let's not jump around.
Okay, I rolled.
Let's not get up, and get down.
Okay, fine.
And jump around.
Well, it'll be quick for a couple of these. So
jump around. Yeah,
100k. You can select one additional different character stand army list for your warlord and dynastic alliance. So this basically means you can pick a noble lord and a mounted noble lord. The prior commanders are still counted as the same entry because they're bracket Sealed Temple and bracket Crimson Tower. But you can do a mounted and foot noble lord, so you can get their supremacies. That's a nice little fix. And then Pure Officer. He can take 2 mainstay Steel Legion. It's nice, but the Steel Legion haven't changed at all. They're still heavies. They're nice. It's weird. I don't really see them changing much for what the Imperial Officer wants to do. They are nice if you want to run like a Gilded Legion block, a Hunter cadre with 2 Steel Legions. But then you have 3 heavies, so it's, I don't know.
Yeah. Double mainstay Steel Legion, like Steel Legion, in my experience, just playing into them, seem to be a real feast or famine regiment.
Well, because they're a hammer, and they're a wound 4 hammer, so any chip damage just kind of like goes through because they're defense 3. So it's not hard to deal 4 wounds and take out a stand.
Yeah,
like it really isn't hard. But they're coming in late. You can now take like a Gilded Legion block or 2 with 2 Steel Legion as the mainstay unlocks. And have those Gilded Legion like take the brunt, and then have the Steel Legion come in from the sides and do all the work they want to do. I don't know. Maybe it'll pan out. Maybe someone will play an interesting list. I've done a little bit of list building, but nothing's really popped out at me lately.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice. I don't mind it. It's kind of a good route for them to go because Steel Legion have been falling off for the past year, and it's kind of been showing.
Yeah. They do need a little.
Prior commander now no longer has to take long lineage to get an heirloom. That took forever. Mm-hmm. It's always like, oh, I want something. Armor Dominion is infantry over and went down by 10 points. Still does the same thing. So you can't put Armor Dominion on a prior commander and then throw him in a unit of Ashen Dawn. I don't think I ever did that. I think I did that once when I first got Ashen Dawn, and then I stopped bothering because you just didn't need to do it for Ashen Dawn.
Yeah.
What else is going on here? Sadly, the Merc crossbows are down to range 16. So they lost 2 inches, but they're still 105 points. Probably still really good ranged option, even with the loss of 2 inches. I'd still take them easy.
Yep, they're just a solidly great, just a workhorse army list entry as always. Even like the range, I think. I don't think it's a bad thing that they lost it personally, but I'm saying that somebody has to play into them and not play as them. So
yeah, it's fine. I'm still taking them as 100k. Hunter Cadre, the big one's changed. They're now a medium, and they have flank. What's actually really good, because now they can score, and they're range 18 AP1 Fiend Hunter shooting regiment, who you can get up to volley 3 with. Oh, what the heck was it? Veterans, and you'll have a null mage, so if anyone's starting to cast spells within 10 inches of you, if any of their failures will explode. So they're in a better spot than they were before. Like, the issue with 100k shooting is that it was all too similar to itself, and so that's why everyone picked Merc crossbows, because it was the best out of everything that was similar. With this change, you're probably going to see some more Hunter Cadre, but you're not going to see other shooting options. Like Imperial Ranger Corps, you're probably still not seeing a whole ton of. Longbows, you're probably not seeing a whole ton of. Hunter Cadre, you probably are, because they're a medium flank regiment, and getting scoring stands out quickly and consistently matters in this game. And with the Imperial Officer on their range or on their movement 6, they're 18 inches up the table, so a lot of back end zones are being contested or scored on. So you'll probably see Hunter Cadre. And with the advent of a lot of brutes and monsters coming down the pipeline from other factions, you're going to get work out of Fiend Hunter. So I would not be surprised if 100k players took at least 1 unit of 5 stands, or like even 2 units. Yeah. Like maybe 2 MSUs or more, but it's a lot of points. Because it's going to be, if you want to veterans them, what you should be doing with their volley, it's going to be what? What's their banner cost? It's somewhere in here. Banner is 5 points. So it's going to be 195 points with an MSU. Like, it is a lot of points. But they are going to be very effective. So I'm happy where the Hunter Cadre are going. But I don't think it fixes, like, fundamental problems with 100k currently. Lastly... Oh, go ahead.
No, Hunter Cadre is just like, I'm actually like...
You jelly?
Looking at it like, damn, that's a real. I mean, they're otherwise, pretty not need a little work, but that's a.
Yeah, they are only barrage 3.
Got me feeling a type of way.
You're only getting 3 shots per stand, but you can do some serious work with them, especially.
18 inches AP1 though at volley 3, like you're gonna get some shots through, even if it's not a ton.
And at volley 3, you can move and shoot and not feel bad, so it's good there. Lastly, Order of Ashen Dawn. You kind of got hit 3 times in the nuts with nerfs. So you went up 10 points to 260, 5 attacks, and you can only have an MSU. You cannot add additional stands. So this means that you cannot run 4x4, but it was 4 Sealed Temple and 4 Ashen Dawn, because you are now 20 points over.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Ashen Dawn. You're restricted to 9 in an entire army.
I don't think that Ashen Dawn were necessarily... I know this is going to be a crazy take to a lot of people. We're not necessarily the most significantly overpowered units in the game. But...
So...
you just had to run them. Like, and that's... Now this, I think, at least putting some limitations on it makes it so it's not just like... You take as much Ashen Dawn as you can get away with.
So like one of the main problems with 100k, and it's still not solved, sadly, is that Ashen Dawn was the best choice, and was kind of the only choice by how good they were, and nothing else in the faction competed with them on that level. You took as many Ashen Dawn as you could, and then as many support elements as you could after you broke the Ashen Dawn button, what was like 12. So that's why this is happening. The issue is that nothing fills the role that the Ashen Dawn have, or the same level of power in the faction to compensate for it. Even if it's split amongst a couple regiments, there's nothing in 100k that's really going to be doing the same thing that Ashen Dawn could do. And so after these changes, I myself am kind of down on 100k. Like, I'm probably going to build some stuff with Hunter Cadre. I'm still going to play Ashen Dawn, but it's just not the same. I don't feel motivated to play them or really build them. I've seen a couple things that have piqued my interest, but like, I know what type of player I am, and I'm just like, this is not pulling me in. The other thing that 100k is on the next rework, and suppose that's going to come out in January when all the church stuff comes out. So hopefully it happens then. To be honest, I think they could have saved the Ashen Dawn nerfs until January.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think 100k players are going to be eating very well for the next couple months.
Yeah, it is giving pre-revision Wadroon.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but at least, like, I think given that what the factions that did get reworked have gained, it's at least there's hope for the future, right?
Well, something cool is going to happen. Like 100k was one of the first two factions and was the most, like, all of its complexities came from list building, and it was not doing anything interesting when you actually put the minis on the table. Spires had the Bio and Ferromancers. Nords had offensive stats, and now has some, like, more interesting stuff. Dweghom had all the, like, defensive stats and guns and magic and everything, and then got tokens. But, like, when Wadroon came out, they were the first of the gimmicks, and it's kind of been going that way for a while, and they've backtracked for army rules since to give other factions army rules, and we've seen how those have gone. So 100k has kind of been left out of the spotlight for a while for, like, changes and things to make it more interesting and update it. I'm excited to see what those updates are, but I'm not really thrilled on what's happened. Like, I don't know, I'll probably build and play something, but I'm just kind of like, nothing has really changed since. My interest in it is not that high.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Want to talk about Spires?
Conquest over. Nope, we're done.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's it. Yeah. No, yeah, we'll go into Spires.
Spires got some interesting changes, though. Let's see here.
Biomancer got a couple
options. Yeah, this is actually pretty huge for the Biomancer, because before he had Force-grown drones and bound clones, but now he has Deso drones mainstay. Thank goodness. So now they'll actually probably be played and used.
And you think the Directorate ever has like a take your kids to work day, but it's for, like, drones and clones? It's like
probably not clones for drones, because they're not really people.
Well, it's like, but it's like, it's fun. It's like,
it's like taking your pet to
it's
school.
Like taking, yeah, or like taking your toddler to work.
Did you ever? You don't have kids. I'm like, did you ever take your toddler? I'm like, wait a minute, you don't have kids.
Yeah, that ship sailed. So
I know. Well, I know my mother took me to work, but mostly because she didn't have a babysitter and she owned the business and was just like, go sit in the corner over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, but, like, they're drones and clones, so it's take them to school and then be like, get back to work, write notes for my kid.
That's fair.
Get a show off. Siegebreaker restricted, though, on the Biomancer is also a really good pick.
Yeah, I mean, anything that gives a little more access to it, I think that was one that was really, like, confined to, like, it's probably, I don't know, like, I haven't looked to see if they've changed the army list entry for it at all, but I just feel like giving more access to it might kind of mitigate some of the problems that it had.
So the problem it had was that it was sharing a restricted spot with Incarnate Sentinels and the Centaur Avatar in the Lineage Highborn's Warband. So it was like, do I want Centaurs or do I want Incarnates? Like, Siegebreaker, you're third and you're not getting picked. And he's not even in the Highborn's band.
Yeah.
What else? Ferromancer can now take Deso drones as a restricted option. So you don't have to go put them in brute drones anymore, what's nice, if you don't want to. So there's another option. Because you're probably still taking 2 Strix mainstays, and then you could grab Deso drones and throw them in there if you really want to, or you could still do avatar projections and put them into the brutes.
Mm-hmm.
Induced Lethargy is now within 8 inches. That's the -1 defense. I think it was 8 before, or it was 10 before. I remember it being like quite big. It might have been 10 before. I'm like checking now. Then flash, don't care. Yeah, it was 10 before. Okay, cool. Little nerf on that guy.
Nerf Reno.
Yeah, Cascading Degeneration. It's only Aura of Death +4. And while the regiment has 5 or more stands, including the character, it goes up to Aura of Death +8. So now you're not doing like 20 Aura of Deaths to somebody with a block of Force drones anymore. It was nice. It did come down in points, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Plague Lord. When a friendly regiment becomes the target of this character sense Ferromantic Gland Burst or Men Flesh activation, it gains the Aura of Death +4 into Underground. Okay. It's fine, because this used to give like Aura of Death 6 to the character, and only the character. Now you can just kind of like drop Aura of Death on people, so you could get like a big Force drone block up to like Aura of Death 12. What's nice, but still not Aura of Death 20.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. You shouldn't really be able to. I mean, I don't know if maybe that ability is a pathway to getting up there, but at least you have to commit. Like, you have to build into it. But like before, you were able to get more than like a basic clash of output from Aura of Death really easily. So you were just like blitzing stuff with it.
Yeah, it's true. Deso drones. Their defense 2. I don't know if they went up or down defense, but their defense 2. Their range 14. That's a huge buff. So they're no longer 12. They can kind of walk up and shoot a little.
Yeah.
And their -1 defense ability. After the defense rolls have been made and any wounds have been allocated to the target regiment by stands with the special rule, the enemy suffers -1 defense characteristics until the end of round. This doesn't include the character, but you don't even need to cause damage. You just give them -1 defense, so it's still good.
Yeah.
Just shoot at somebody. I think that might be it. Oh, Siegebreaker is 210 and has Unstoppable. Move 7. Oh, it went up a movement. Look at that thing. Look at him go. It's a good job on him. Do you want to hear about Catabolic Node?
Yeah.
So when this thing declares a clash, you can decide to detonate the node. If you do detonate it, the enemy in contact takes hits from the flank, take 8 hits from the flank, and these do not trigger resolve, and then you take 4 hits. Do you take them from the flank? Yeah, you also take 4 hits from the flank, and they don't trigger resolve. If the regiment is destroyed before the node has been detonated, immediately detonate it before removing the regiment. So even if you die in melee, you can still blow this thing up. So it's a bit better. Like, you have more consistency with it, and you're not taking resolve. It's kind of nice. Then a little bit of clarification on the Mimic Assassins Seek New Escort ability, and that's kind of it. So not a huge amount of changes, but just some things to make life a little easier.
Yeah.
I like them.
We're
almost there, Cassandra.
I know.
Stay with me. It's just Dweg home.
Yeah, this is a quick one. There's almost nothing going on here.
Yeah, it's barely anything's changed.
It looks like so far, I mean, I've gotten to talismans, and all I'm seeing is text changing Aura of Death.
Yep.
And then text changing Aura of Death.
Yep.
And Lava Shots is now
not all wizards.
Shots. Yeah.
Used to be all wizards. Even your opponent's wizards. It was so stupid.
That's bananas. It looks like Flame Berserker's got a point adjustment. The resolve changed to 4.
Sorry, Flame Berserkers. But they also get a standard bearer now.
Yeah.
I dropped 10 and gained a standard.
And Aura of Death got, touched.
It's just 4. It's basically 2 stands before. It's kind of fine, but it's also like, oh, they weren't doing a ton of Aura of Death anyway to begin with.
Yeah.
Hold Warriors, though. And this is the big change. Vanguard. We're going to see more Hold Warriors because they also have a standard bearer just included. I'm not going to lie. I don't think Hold Warriors are going to be seeing very much play, even with the Vanguard. There's just better options either way.
Yeah, there's really, like, at D2 and Shield, like, and then Clash 2, like, Vanguard just gets them killed faster.
Also the resolve too. Like, the adjunctive chuddier, because now they can zip up the side of the table 16 inches and get on a zone.
Yeah.
So that's nice, but they're still not really, like, contributing. And then at that point, you kind of want to farm them into your wall if you're playing Tempered. But if you're playing Argent Creed and, like, Fastwag, you want to take Flames, you want to take Wardens, you want to take Magma, you want to take probably some Hold Ballistae into Steel Forge, or you want to take Hold Ballistae into Ironclad. Like, that's kind of your pathways, and Hold Warriors don't fit into that nicely.
Yeah.
Like, even with the change, like, someone's probably going to do it and play it, and it's going to be fine, but, like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
It's like, you have Vanguard, but you're not... The thing with that is that you're not abusing that Vanguard to, like, skyrocket up the table and then threaten someone, like Hunting Pack are. You're not using that Vanguard to really push the line of engagement with a very strong unit, like, what is it? The Imperial Officer and, like, a big block of Gilded Legion. You're not using that they don't have the offensive power, like, was it Vanguard clones, I think, have burnout or have access to burnout or something, and they can, like, shoot up and then burn out and then, like, rip. They might be able to do that with a Biomancer Warlord. But
yeah,
there's a couple things you can do there. Like, they just... It's like, if you're a 100k player and you gave Men-at-Arms Vanguard, it's like, okay, cool. You're on the zone now. That was cool. Like, that's it. They're not contributing more. That's my issue with them, is that there are other things in the faction that just do more, and the Vanguard doesn't help them do more. It doubles down on their existing role as an objective chud.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold Thanes gain a banner. Cool.
Great.
Magma Forge have been updated to what their stats are going to be. So 190, movement 6 for attacks, resolve 4, defense 3, or of death 4, cleave 2. They have a banner built in. They're good. They're fine. I like them. Play them in Ardent. Give that command stand plus 2 attacks, so you're hitting on like 7 attacks at cleave 2. It's fun. Oh, Infernal Automata gains 6 attacks. That's nice. And Herald of Magmazor, death 4. Yeah, that's it. We're done. We're done 3 of them out of 7 or 8. I forget. Out of 8.
Yeah.
Not many Dwag changes. We also know that Dwag is, I believe, up next after 100k for changes, and I'm kind of glad because they're just really stale. Like, it's play the Dwag Castle or play Fast Dwag, and that's it. And, like, Hold Ray is starting to come out as like a dark horse meme list, but it's mostly like Hold Ray and guns. What's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, Cass, it's all you. Nords.
Oh no. Yeah. Nords. Let's Nords it up. Wait. For some reason, I have other armies before them.
Okay, what's your other army before them?
No. It's just I didn't click the thing. Just whatever. Fine. So let's look at the list. So we got Nords are eating. Like, we got a great update here. Everything kicks ass here. Except that it was loading an out of date army list. It feels like there for me. The fuck. Hold on. I just need to. I need, for some reason I feel like it's not loading the right file for me, which I know sounds insane.
Do you want me to send it to you?
No, I want to check my phone.
Me trying to be nice, you? No!
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a little tantrum.
Oh my god. Please. Please, I have a family.
You don't have enough family to keep this from happening. Okay, no, I guess this is right. I thought there was altered rules text in the army rules, but it doesn't look like it. So that means we don't have to get into it. But we do have to talk about supremacy abilities because they have changed extensively.
All right.
So the Blooded and the Vargir Lord, they now have the supremacy called a Hunt, which is when selecting a regiment to arrive from reinforcements automatically this round, choose one additional friendly Half-Bloods regiment. This supremacy ability is always considered to be active, regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed. So that's, I mean, it was kind of just the same deal as what they had before, just modified slightly.
Yeah, but it now affects...
to be more in line. Oh, and limited, yeah, because of Half-Bloods. No, that's fair.
Yeah, sorry, I got really close to my mic there.
Yeah, so, I mean, not bad. I don't think it's the best pick out of the options currently. One fairly strong one to me is Raid Tactics for the Jarl. All friendly mortals regiments in the army. Actually, no, this one is kind of... Okay, sorry, I think this one is mid. I got into it too fast. I'll get into the good ones in a minute. All friendly mortals regiments in the army gain the benefits of the warlord's tribal tactics as if the warlord was currently attached to the regiment. This supremacy ability is always considered to be active, regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed. The reason why I don't love this is because the only unit that I want to get those tribal tactics onto is fucking Bow Chosen. So that I can give them opportunists. Like everything else, it's cool. Like it's a bonus. I don't think I think given the other options, I don't think it's a supremacy ability. Or it's not worth blowing your supremacy ability to slot, is what I mean to say.
Well, so we're gonna get into the raid tactics. I know there's 3 of them, and I'm pretty sure one of them is gonna get picked 90% of the time. Character scoring one is still good. But yeah, we're going to get into why you might not want to just go for character scoring and just grab opportunities because it is that good.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Where are we getting character scoring from?
It's one of his other 3 raid tactics.
Oh, maybe I was misunderstanding that tactic.
So
now I need to know. Okay. Now I need to see.
So at the beginning of one of the following tribes. So under the Jarl himself, he's changed a bunch. He has forward force, so you have your flank, I believe, off the top of my head. Supremacy raid tactics. And so then he has his character upgrades, and he has his tribal tactics. At the beginning of each game, first reinforcement roll, the Jarl may select the following tribal. They're active, regardless of whether he's still alive or dead. He has direct assault, draw them in, and take the flank. So if we go all the way to the bottom, don't care about that. I gotta find it. There we go. Direct assault. Characters attached to regiments count as heavy for the purposes of inflicting wounds on objectives. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Probably not going to take that very often because you have other ways to deal with that and you're killy enough. Draw them in. That's the opportunist one. Really good. People love it.
That's the one. So I don't think there's a capping one. I think there's just it turns off their capping.
Take the flanks while the character stands currently attached to engage enemy regiments. Yeah, they don't count as forward seizing out. So, yeah, I think you're just taking opportunist.
So the only reason that I would think, and it's not worth it because it's just a point sink, but there's an upgrade that lets you change your tribal tactic once per game.
What?
So you could come in with direct assault, knock out the objective marker, and then switch to draw them in. But it's why? Just do the opportunist. Just handle the objective markers some other way.
Well, fuck. Here's even better. You take a Jarl, you take opportunist, and then you go take fuck me. There's so many goddamn characters. A Jotnar Satyr. You give him the axe, and he immediately destroys an ejector marker on turn 2 or on turn 3. Boom, done. Because he's a medium. He comes in on turn 2, and then he charges at turn 3 and kills it with the axe. There you go. You don't even need to worry about that. Wow, we have jumped really far very quickly, and we've only started on supremacies.
Yeah. So let's whip it back. So the next supremacy is the Konamir. He's the ruler of Mannheim. So what he does is he changes the first paragraph of the Prophecy Unfulfilled Faction Special Rule to read as follows. While an enemy regiment is currently engaged by a friendly regiment, all other friendly regiments add +2 to their charge distance when charging that enemy regiment. Wait. Okay, yeah, so that changes it to affect giants.
That's
basically.
It.
Yeah.
I feel like the Conninger gets gypped every time.
The Conninger definitely... This is one of the weaker abilities, I think. If you're running a bunch of giants, like, I guess you can kind of do the thing, but I don't think it's necessarily worth it. So I think that the best one is the Shaman and Volva supremacy, personally. And the reason isn't necessarily what I think people gravitate towards, which is, so the first part of it is all friendly regiments add +1 to their evasion characteristic to a maximum of 2.
Good.
That's good. It on its own would not be something that I take. But the other part of this is friendly regiments within range of an objective zone may be the target of a friendly character stand spellcasting action, regardless of the spell's range or the spellcaster's line of sight. Spells with a range of self are unaffected. This supremacy ability is always considered to be active regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed. So I think it's like, having the opportunity now that spells are better. On the Volva, I haven't looked at the Shaman ones actually, so I guess we'll discuss that as we get there. But the Volva spells have gotten some notable improvements, and it's
they're good.
This is totally worth taking.
So I like it because you don't have to. You can affect across the other side of the table if you're fighting over an objective. Like if your Volva just sits with a block of Velts on one side, holding down a side, and you're like, "Wow, I'm losing the other side," and you're like, "Cast a heal." I don't know if the healing spell itself. I have to check on that. But you can cast spells on shit over there. Really does help, and it allows you to spread out your spell casting and not have to worry about where things exactly are if you're on a zone. So, yeah, no, I like it a lot. Currently I'm gravitating towards the Jarl, the Volva, and still a little bit of the Blooded / Vogny Warlord, just because you get double reinforcements in. It's still good. Yeah. It's just not. It's not like you're just getting all the bow chosen. Like you're getting trolls, you're getting Uger, you're getting crap like that. So, not as good. But also they took away the Vanguard from the Shaman, so yay.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are the supremacy abilities. Sorry, just a moment. I just had a sudden anxiety that I need to quell because this is a raw-ass, live, unrehearsed podcast recording. But no, my dogs are in the house, so we're all good. We can keep this thing rolling.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, everybody. Welcome to a BonkTable moment. Leave this in. I don't give a shit. Now my cat's in my chair. God damn.
Do you ever throw your cats? Like, do you ever just pick them up and toss them?
No.
Oh, I thought they land on their feet.
You still can't just throw them around.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, I don't.
Do you ever just pick the cat up by its belly and hold it really far out and up and just let go so it lands on its feet, or what?
I think you and I interact with cats in very different ways.
Well, I am highly allergic to cats.
That'll do it. Yeah, I used to be, but it turns out if you just keep doing it,
Do the cats not like you, or what?
No, they love me because I don't throw them around.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why the cats don't like me.
No, I used to be pretty allergic to cats, and then I just was like, I want to own cats, so I got some, and I just thugged it out, and now I'm not allergic to cats.
So, like, you built up a resistance to being allergic to cats?
Yeah.
Lucky.
They don't tell you this, but you can actually condition yourself through a lot of allergies like that, as long as they're not like so severe that they just one-shot you.
If I don't have to touch the cat, I just need to be in the house where the cats like run around a lot in and lived in, where
you can never come to my house then.
Yeah, I'll asphyxiate in about 5 hours. Like, I won't be able to breathe. I take reaction whenever I'm going to someone's house who has cats, and I'll have my arms hive up like really bad, and I won't feel it.
Yeah.
No, I just sneezed a bunch, but yeah, it's really shitty, and I hate it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's not fun.
Okay, tell me about the blooded. He's had a couple changes.
Yes. So,
let's have a look at the blooded.
Hey, your audio's back.
Oh, was I not there at all?
No, you were there. You were just a little quieter.
Oh yeah, I was on the other. Okay, so nonetheless, BonkTable, everybody. What the hell? I skipped right by it. Fuck. BonkTable, everybody. So the blooded, cleave 2, impact 2, forward force. Just like always, he gets 1 trove find. He gets 1 mastery. He has lost bow chosen. That's the notable one.
Good. Triple good.
Yeah. The blooded warband was too good. It needed.
I would say the best in the game. You had all your toys.
Yeah, it was just whether you ran 2 blooded warbands or whether you handicapped yourself by only running 1. Yeah. And I'm thankful that now I don't have to buy the second 1.5 starter that just had the good blooded warband in it, because I already have one.
Now you can buy the Vogny Lord. I think he's had a couple changes as well.
Yeah, he's looking a little better. I actually have one of those as it happens, but he's got some better options too that make me more inclined to look at his stuff. But you know, they're also in the regular blooded warband, like werewolves, I guess is what I'm referring to specifically. But you get the hogs, you get the dogs, you get the jots, you get the stalkers, you get the trolls, you get the ogre. It's still a good option. I'm finding that I'm building lists that don't really run blooded anymore. Personally, I'm leaning into the Raiders side of things, but you could,
because
there's
Raiders
no reason
are
not to.
Real good right now.
Yeah, that's why.
Like real good.
Yeah, like bananas.
Another thing that I did notice on him that was not mentioned was that he can join a friendly non-regiment half-blood. A friendly non-cavalry half-blood regiment. Though if he was a character infantry stand. So you could put him in Ogre. And werewolves and stuff.
Yeah.
That's nice. And you don't have to take an upgrade to do that. He just does it.
Oh, that's cool. That's good for him.
Good job, Blooded.
Yeah.
Give him a little pat on the back there and send him on his way.
Yeah. That takes us to the Jarl. So forward force, which is a bit of a theme with the characters. You got your impact 2 on him and shield, bring him up to D3 in the front. Not a huge difference there. He's pretty much got his same warband. As far as I can tell, I'm not noticing anything that wasn't just deleted from the game.
I know. I think Blade Chosen were just deleted from the game because they became Steel Chosen. Steel and Blade just became one. I know that.
I think that makes sense. I don't know why there was always that felt like a very arbitrary, like you were getting into Space Marines level of splitting hairs, I felt like at that point. But
and we also know what the best example is to take for his supremacy ability or tribal tactics.
Yeah, we already talked about that. It's draw them in.
So good though.
Just straight down the line. Yeah, Opportunist is huge. It's good on a single regiment. You do a lot with it. It's great. Like his supremacy ability, if you're leaning into it, is actually not bad. So it's just it's not the one that I'd pick. But he's got a great slate of warbrands. You get Raiders, Huskarls, Ulfhednar, and then Bearsark, Steel Chosen, and Sea Jotnar. Sea Jotnar is huge. Bearsarks are great now after being really bad. Ulfhednar look fantastic now. Raiders are insane. They're just so good. I'm just beside myself. I'm just giddy.
Sorry, can we cut in here because we didn't talk about the army rules?
Well, the army rules aren't really changed.
They have. The same deal. Blood of the Einharjarl is no longer attacks. It is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no.
There was no red text. There was no red text. So how was I supposed to know?
I know, right? They should have put some red text there. I'll just read these off really quick because they're good. Or do you want to do them?
Yeah. No, you do it.
Oh, okay. So Ice, Flesh, and Blood stayed the same. It's all the terrain stuff. Blood of the Einharjarl no longer does attacks when you take damage because you're basically crumple like paper anyway. But if you charge someone, your command stand now counts as one additional stand for the purpose of seizing. So all your lights can seize if they charge into an objective zone. And the monsters get +1 stand, so that's really nice. So your lights can score if you charge. And then Prophecy Unfulfilled, I believe, is the same with the +2 to charge distance for non-monsters. But in addition, when a regiment in this army performs a successful charge against an enemy regiment, it gets +1 to its resolve until the end of the round. There we go. Just makes them a little bit more durable if they charge. And to like kind of enforce the intent of charge people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm done. You're up.
Yeah. So, so we had the Jarl's Warband. It's good. Connie has gained Cleave 1, I feel like.
He sure did. He is built in Broken Blade.
Yeah, so that's pretty nasty. Terrifying 1, Impact 3. So he's the old Cannoneer felt very like they overvalued his stat line, so he didn't really get special rules. And now I feel like these are things that he really, I think, needed to have to be worth taking. And normally you had to spend points to upgrade into it. Now you're just getting it, so that's good.
This guy fucks.
He does fuck quite a bit. Like can't deny it. He gets 2 trove finds. He used to get 3, but there's just less now. So. And he gets 1 mastery, so you can take with him now. You have the incentive to take him is Mainstay Bow Chosen.
He's the only one who can take Bow Chosen.
Yeah, because they're chosen.
Yeah.
He gets the Steel Chosen, he gets the Huskarls, and then he gets all the Giants.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So that's the use case for him is Bow Chosen and Giants. If you're trying to steer into any of that. He's kind of your man. Like you do get some in the other characters. I think Shaman still gets a couple. Raider gets not Raider, but the Jarl gets the 1. But like the Cannoneer is showtime, other than the Satyr, of course.
So the Bloody gets the mountain, the Jarl gets the sea, and he gets his choice. Shaman gets mountain and sea. Oh, okay. Bulba, I think, still has a crap warband. Yep. Yep, I had to look at that. He also gets to do a tribal tactic that he can use on his regiment, so he could sit in a Bocho and just take Opportunist. Nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, the only one you're taking. You want to talk about Shaman?
Yeah, Shaman. I don't know. He's got spells now. More spells, it looks like. It looks like he got the
White Waste
Shaman, spells.
I do love his 1 mainstay.
Yeah, Raiders. Bang.
Did the White Waste tribesmen go away because they would fill the same role as Raiders, but like militia levels of Raiders?
Yeah, bad Raiders. And then he gets Bearsark, Ulfhednar, Mountain and Sea Jotnar, so not bad. Like with Raiders being what they are and everything else being where it is, he's you can do a lot worse.
Yeah. Do we want to skip ahead to his spells just to clarify what he's casting?
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah.
So looking at his spells, we've got a few things that we can run through, or you have options now in terms of what you can do with him. So Blurred Vision.
He always had options, and his spells were always good.
Yeah, but getting the extra set makes him. I think it makes the value feel more comprehensive. And it sort of, I think it leans into his role as a buddy of the Giants, kind of a little bit more.
I'm a friend of the Giants. Don't eat me.
Yeah. Although I guess no, it looks like.
I think they're all roughly the same.
I thought there was one that I thought that some of the White Waste Shaman spells were supposed to buff or debuff monsters specifically, but now it doesn't look like they do anymore. But I guess we'll just go through all the spells and then problem solved. You got Blurred Vision, 20-inch range, Attunement 3 scaling. Target enemy regiment can only select targets to volley or charge that are within 12 inches until the end of the round.
Still good.
It's good. Yeah, it's fine. Mistweave, 12-inch range, Attunement 3. Target regiment adds +1 to its evasion characteristic to a maximum of 2 until the end of the round. It's fine. I wouldn't pop a spellcast on that probably in 90% of scenarios, but there will be an edge case where like that comes in handy, so might as well have it. Reshape Destiny. All friendly regiments declaring a charge action well within 10 inches of this character stand gain the Unstoppable special rule until the end of the round. That's great. If you don't have Unstoppable.
But there's a lot of Unstoppable in Nords. It's really funny.
Yeah. This is another one of those very situational things.
Yep.
'Hoarfrost, 12-inch range, Attunement 4. Target enemy regiment suffers 1 hit per success with AP1.
It got nerfed.
It did get nerfed, but it's still good.
Oh, yeah. So it's Attunement 4, so you're getting this thing off a lot of the time.
Yeah, 6 shots, helps. And AP1 is good. AP1 on shooting is good. It's just good.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's a good profile. Dominate, 12-inch range, Attunement 3. Target enemy regiment suffers -1 to its resolve characteristic until the end of the round.
Yeah, it's good. I've used it a bunch.
It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, there will be times when it'll come in handy. Enrage, self-cast, Attunement 3. All friendly regiments within 10 inches of this character lose the broken status as if they had performed a rally action. So it's a good ability, but I feel like if that's the position that you're in, maybe things are going really bad.
You have other issues and problems?
Yeah, like if you need to unbreak multiple regiments at once, then it's possible the game has turned a corner on you.
There are a lot of things on one stand left, and you need them all to do stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you pull the win with that, then good on you, but it's a spell that you shouldn't have to use.
I think you're gonna be going through his spells. I think you're gonna be casting Blurred Vision a lot. You're casting Hoarfrost for sure a lot. You're probably gonna be casting Domination at some point for that -1 resolve. It's kind of iffy of like which one's gonna be more relevant, Hoarfrost or Dominate. But like if you can get a Dominate off and then charge something with another regiment that's gonna do a bajillion damage, it's gonna pay out a lot more.
Yeah.
He has good spells. They're all good. They all have a case, and he's going to be doing something every turn. That's a good sign of a caster. Yeah.
It's, even the ones that I said are situational. Like, that's not necessarily a strict complaint because he's got some ones that have very broad applications. So, he's I'd say the 2 big spellcasters are now more, I feel like they're very support-oriented tool sets that the faction didn't necessarily have concentrated in the same way previously, because the Volva spells have just they've just gotten better. Okay. A lot of them were really not worth using, and now they're better. But sorry, I was just looking at them and I'm like, ooh, I want to
let's talk about them
that.
because
But
like
we'll get to
Volva herself, nothing has really changed. Like on
Yeah.
her, it's literally just her spells and her supremacy has just gone better. Let's talk about her spells.
Yeah, so Aspect of Fenrir is range self, scaling 3, target regiment gains the unyielding special rule until the end of the round. I think before they were getting like Terrifying 1 from that, which was never worth taking. But
I'm
unyielding,
already hating this.
yeah.
I'm already seeing where this goes, and I already hate it.
Yeah, you just plop them down, pop that off, you cap in the zone. Fruit of the Golden Tree, classic. It's gotten a little bit better because you get an auto 1 and then plus every success, so you don't, it's just a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
You're gonna you have a better chance of getting a stand back, things like that. Glory of Valhalla, target regiment gains Indomitable 2
Good.
until the end of the round. Yeah, that's
good.
That's another one where it's just like plop them in the zone, pop that off. They're not going anywhere.
Well, remember, you can now target things if you're using her as the warlord
Yep.
in other zones. So, like, if you're on melee, you can cast that thing halfway, like, across the map.
Yep. And that's fantastic. And also, Fruit of the Golden Tree, I'm pretty sure used to be self. So now,
surprised. Yeah.
So now you can heal onto zones. So that's good for. That's just good. And as far as I can tell, and correct me if I've misunderstood, but Hela's Caress, the gun spell, which is just attunement 4, and it's 1 hit per success with no AP. So it's worse than Hoarfrost, but it's still decent.
Well, here's the thing. Remember, this used to give decay 4.
Yeah.
So now you can actually get work out of it.
Yeah, so now you can gun them down, and as far as I can tell, can you not just shoot through somebody on a zone with it? Let me look at the rules again. Now
it might be only friendly regiments, so you can shoot yourself on another zone.
Hold on.
Friendly
no,
regiment.
you can't shoot the gun through them. Yeah,
I'd be like,
that would have been good.
No,
that would have been good, but no.
You imagine touching a zone and there's like 2 Volvas sitting outside at the back end of the table, just blasting someone with Hell's Crest. Like, fuck off.
I mean, it's really not that like game-breaking shooting. So I wouldn't say that it would be the worst thing in the world if it was there, but it's
3
not.
Successes, so it's 3 wounds, and let's say the thing is like Marksman Clones or Hunter Cadre, like that. They're on the zone, like something weak. And you just start blowing up a stand and a bit each turn.
Okay, yeah. So make the argument that if you pick a good engagement, it's not fair. Like,
that's what you're looking for. Like, that's the optimal target right there. Like, that's the juice you want.
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, it's fine.
You're doing that on the other side of the table. You're like,
I don't think it would be the end of the world if it did work that way.
Oh, I think we would hear about it very quickly.
No, the real, I don't think I'm allowed to use the specific word that I would use for describing Warbringer's Light and the impact it's going to have on people who play me. But that's where the Volva's ability really shines, I think. Because that is 12-inch range, scaling 3, target regiment gains the Bless special rule until the end of the round. So, with the Volva's supremacy, you're putting that on anything in a zone.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
That's big time, baby.
And you can put that on the Jotnar. Great.
Yeah, because there's really no limitations on it other than it's wait, do monster stands trigger scaling?
No, they're only 1 stand. They count as 3 for the purposes of scoring and seizing.
So you want to bless your giants.
Yeah. So the Volva's on one side of the table, controlling a zone, scoring it, and then you start pushing a flank, you start pushing the middle, and you start casting blessed, and then you charge from one zone out or one zone into the other and start, scoring and doing work. And then I don't know, have a Mountain Jotnar go beat up a guy, and then next turn's Volba, so you bless the Mountain Jotnar, and then it gets hit back if you're lucky, if you have multiple fights going on, and then, it goes from there. Cascades. Or you just keep setting it up to send in blessed giants at people.
Yeah, it's bananas.
No, she has a very good spell list.
Yeah.
Ice Jotnar, his spells haven't changed.
Yeah, same deal.
What else we got? Vogny Lord? What's this guy doing?
Yeah, Barger Lord is he's kind of well, no, he's gotten some stuff. So he's regen 2, he's cleave 1, impact 4. Feral Hunters.
I think he had all that stuff before.
Yeah, I'm just kind of mentioning it.
Okay.
But now he's got the Feral Hunter rules, so Werewargs, Fenner, and Golter Beastpack regiments in this warband gain the Flurry special rule. So I think that's makes him a more attractive option than the standard blooded.
Yeah, but like trolls are still good.
Yeah, trolls are good, but I think that I'm a certified Flurry liker. So
also he can join any half-blood regiment, even though he was a brute character stand. So you can put him in the beast pack.
Yeah. So you can have a dog rolling with the hogs. You can have they're cavalry. Does that make a difference?
No, this one says this one left out the cavalry. It was only cavalry.
Oh yeah, so dog and the hogs. Done. You're in it.
Is that my new bed and breakfast?
Yeah. That's the pub we're gonna open after we make all of our podcaster money.
Oh god, dog and the hogs.
Yeah. Yeah, you're stuck.
Well, we have the yellow dog locally, what's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the yellow dog. Man, we're just shilling for everyone tonight.
Yeah, why not? They should get some shoutouts.
Exactly. So the next character is new to the party, the Jotnar Cedar.
You mean this insane bastard?
Yeah, this situation right here. So he's a monster. He's a medium monster, which is not a common thing. Movement 7, volley 2, clash 3, 12 attacks, a whopping 20 wounds, resolve 4, defense 3, evasion 2. He has cleave 2, he's fearless, he's hardened 1, he's impact 6, tenacious 1, and terrifying 1. So already, and in a 280 point package, that's not bad.
Yeah, he good.
But that's not all.
Tell me about it, Cassandra. Sell him to me some more.
Yeah. Do you like special rules? Because
I love special rules.
Can fit so many special rules, and if they're a paragraph long, bring them on, baby, because they're gonna fit. So the first one is Seizing a New Future, which I think was originally his supremacy ability.
I believe so as well. I don't think he can be a warlord. He doesn't have a supremacy.
No, he doesn't. He's just a big guy that hangs out. But with Seizing a New Future, all friendly Titan regiments in the army gain the Fearless special rule within range of an objective zone. In addition, friendly Titan regiments ignore the effects of special rules or abilities that would have them count as less stands for the purposes of seizing objective zones, or none at all, while currently in contact with an enemy regiment.
So you want them to be engaged on zones, okay?
Yeah, they just want to be fighting on the zone. Next ability is Crushing Avalanche. All friendly Titan regiments declaring a charge action while within 10 inches of this regiment gain the Brutal Impact +1 and Impact +2. Special rules until the end of the round. This special rule does not stack. So
if you have two, you won't.
Yeah, you can't make a Venn diagram of impacts.
Is he a Titan?
Yep, he is.
Oh, so he gets his own ability for Crushing Ambulance. So he'll be Impact 7? No, Impact 8 and Brutal 1? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's pretty mean. And it again directs you to not only do you want your other Titans, like your other giants on the zones fighting, but you want him in the mix too. The Jotnar Cedar, in the third rule, the Lord of Titans, the Jotnar Cedar is considered to be a regiment by itself, in addition to it also being a character stand, and therefore uses all the relevant regiment rules as if it was a monster regiment. A Jotnar Satyr activates as if it was a regiment, performs 2 actions per activation, and has access to all out-of-combat and combat actions a regiment has. In addition, the Jotnar Satyr may also use a deal action. The Jotnar Satyr may not join another regiment and does not need to include a monster regiment in its warband to enter the battlefield. The Jotnar Satyr must include at least one other regiment in its warband.
So,
well, that's just the package of rules that actually makes it work on the tabletop. So,
yeah,
there's nothing too exciting there, but that's, I mean, there you have it. He's.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, but the party doesn't stop. So he counts as 6 for the purposes of seizing objective zones.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that's big time, and you get to pick a weapon for him, which is new to the game. That's really not, I mean, in this way. But anyway, so he can either choose Scourge, the axe, which when this regiment inflicts at least 1 wound on an objective marker, that objective marker is immediately destroyed. So that's probably better than wasting a raid tactic on that.
Yep.
Because he can just come in and just poop, 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 and be on his way. The other option is Dory, the spear. So that the character stand gains the unyielding special rule.
Also really good.
It is really good. It just doesn't feel exciting. That's my only complaint.
Yeah, but if you're playing a bunch of scenarios that don't really have objectives, or you have other ways to handle objectives easy.
Well, that's the thing.
Defense 3 with unyielding, and then he's also tenacious 1 and hardened 1. Like and he has 20 wounds. Like it's a brutal stat line to chew through.
Yeah, it's not that the other one is more attractive. It's just he gets unyielding. Just it doesn't excite.
Well, here's the thing.
senses.
So turn 2, he runs up the table towards the objective on your side. Turn 3, he charges it, hits it with an impact, axe triggers, kills it. Second action, march. Continues forward. Like, he literally just stopped to go kick a stone and then kept running.
Yeah.
Like, with that axe. That's how good he is.
Yeah, exactly.
This thing is insane.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He can take Mountain Jotnar mainstay.
Yeah, he can take Mountain Jotnars, but he can only have 2 regiments in his warband.
Yeah, but it's basically like you take him, a mountain, and a sea or ice, and you have 3 giants just like, hello there!
Yeah,
how are you today?
It's a big one.
This guy's nuts. Oh boy. Alright, treasure troves. There's a lot less, what's nice. There's only 2 pages, that's actually really nice.
Yeah, I like that they cut down the trove finds and stuff.
Oh, they got rid of all the useless ones that were not being picked and they were just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They kept all the cool ones.
I don't mind a limited list of upgrade options. I don't mind keeping it tight, as they say. It's really not the worst thing in the world. So as far as that though, we've got on the trove finds, we've got the Raven Messengers under Tribal Treasures. So that's for mortal character stands only. That's exactly what Raven Messengers has always done.
Which only affects mortals as well.
Yeah, now it's been limited to mortals. And it uses specifically the character stands resolve instead of the complicated calculus that used to go into it. That wasn't always clear which resolve you were using, but this makes it a lot clearer. It's fine. It also went down 10 points, which makes it
it doesn't affect
more attractive.
Yeah, but it also doesn't affect all the half-bloods. Like, putting on Raven Messengers and hitting trolls with Resolve 5 was really nice.
Yeah.
Really kept them around.
Now it's something you have to lean into, and I don't know that it's worth leaning into, but it is a useful ability, just maybe not as useful as it used to be. Mm-hmm. Coils the Serpent. I'm going left, right for some reason. This regiment, the regiment this character stand is currently attached to adds +1 to its evasion up to a maximum of 2.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's just when you're desperate to hit that +2 ceiling on a unit that otherwise wouldn't, but I don't know, not my first pick. Heralds of the Storm. So this one is for Shaman and Volva only. All regiments currently within 8 inches of the character stand count as +3 stands for the purposes of scaling when they become the target of an enemy spellcasting action. Niche pick.
Yeah, it has been drastically nerfed from what it used to do. It used to stop all spell casting for that round.
Yeah, I mean they're
crazy good.
Yeah, there'll be times when that comes in handy, but I think it's too specific to really be compared to the next option, which is almost you're almost going to try to find a way to put it in your lists.
Also, which cheaper.
Yeah, I think it did too, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But the figurehead of the Nullifier. So when the regiment this character stand is attached to becomes the target of an enemy regiment's volley action, it gains Tenacious 3 until the end of that action. Great.
Yeah.
That's super duper.
I was talking to Colin and he's like, it neuters, or doesn't neuter, but it really helps out against Leon and Avatara because you can just Tenacious away the 6s. Can you Tenacious away the 6s? Because I thought it was wounds. Tenacious targets the wounds. So you'd still get 2. Doesn't Tenacious away the dice. Now I gotta go back and
now I'm
thinking about it. Now I'm actually thinking about it. Oh god, don't make me open up the rulebook. Go down there.
I'm not gonna fix this.
Trample, Tenacious. Treat X failed result as a success where X is the value of the special rule. Yeah, so you can Tenacious away that dice. So if the Leon and Avatar roll 3 6s, you can just tell them to get rid of those 6s and not take 6 damage instead of their usual 3. So
that's very useful. It's just great. It's if you're going against the list that has shooting, you'll put it in somewhere.
Yeah.
If you have 20 points, that's a great one. Which takes us to this next option, which I think is a great example of a upgrade that still isn't quite there, which is Tai Yokel, Rhymehearts, or Tai Jokul. I don't know. The regiment that this character stand. Oh no, sorry, I misread it. It's a little more useful than I.
No, this is good.
It was at first blush. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was specific to the character stand, so that was a misread on my part. But the regiment this character stand is currently attached to gains the Tenacious +1 special rule up to a maximum of Tenacious 2. No, that's great.
Yep, no, it's good.
That's another one. If you have that many points and something needs to be a little bit tougher,
I don't know if it's worth 25. Like I feel like you're gonna pick a couple other things before you pick that, but I feel like it's on the plate. It's like a side. It's a side dish. I feel it's a little too expensive for Tenacious +1, but I know Tenacious just as a rule itself is very good. So we'll see how this pans out. But I don't know. It feels a little more expensive. Like Figurehead is 20 points for 3, but it's specifically against guns, while this is 25 for +1 to a max of 2. But it's against everything. So I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
You want to keep going?
Yes. So Massive Frame. Character stand gains the impact +2 and line breaker special rules. For 15 points, it's not bad. I think you can it's very. It's not an auto take, but there are reasons why you might.
Yeah, it's also if you got some points left over. Like it's not.
Yeah, it's more of a. It's not something you build around, but it's you could spend 15 points worse ways.
I feel you take it because everything that is the cheapest option you have, and you have 15 points left over.
Yeah, like everything else is kind of better is the thing. It's just you're spoiled for choice, really. In terms of like upgrades you can choose, but sometimes you'll wind up with 15 just sitting. So that takes us to Ryota the Redbringer and the weapons. The weapons I think are all pretty decent. So with Ryota the Redbringer, now that you don't have Bloodlust in the mix anymore, the character stand, or the regiment that this character stand is currently attached to, gains the Impact 2 special rule. And then the character stand adds +2 to its attack characteristic, and can always die fighting, regardless of whether the character or the regiment has acted this round.
Yay!
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's. I think it's good. I think what you want to do is like it's sort of so. My opinion, having not really tested anything so far, just reading the rules, is that this is better on the as the second upgrade on the fuckface, the Conanier.
Yeah.
Just because that's like +2 attacks, great, super duper. Can always die fighting, excellent. Now get a special rule on that, you know.
So here's the thing I think you do with it. You charge in with the regiment, like steel chosen Huskarls, attack with the Connie and the regiment into another regiment. You then draw the Connie in duel, see if you can get some more damage. And if the Connie dies in the duel, you die fighting again into the regiment. Or when they kill your steel or Huskarls, and you've already attacked after, you just die fighting into them some more.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Just having that always die fighting available. It's just, at that point, you need to die in combat, though.
Yeah. So that is a condition, but it is, I think, with something like a Conanier that can just barf a huge amount of output like that, especially going up to 9 attacks with that thing. Like, killing like that almost becomes a weird re-implementation of Sacrificial Lamb, where if they have to balance getting 9 extra high-quality attacks dumped on them for killing a regiment, whether or not that's gonna, impact their planning turn to turn.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
But it remains to be seen. I don't know that it's necessarily going to swing things immensely, but I think that's where having that risk of a die fighting in play, whereas other times you can activate your way out of having to deal with a die fighting, but when you kill a regiment. But yeah. I don't know. Probably it's not going to be super impactful, but 2 extra attacks is great.
It really is. Just more damage
and more impact, so you can buff like a regiment and get some if it.
Well, it's not impact +2, it's just impact 2.
Yeah, it's just 2, so they have to be not good in the first place. But what are Raiders at? Because that's going to be... Oh, no, they're impact 2. I thought they were impact 1 for some reason.
I think you get... No, Huskarls probably have impacts.
There's lots of stuff that you can put it on, and impact 2 is decent. Like, again, putting impact 2 on Bow Chosen? Come on.
Yeah, and they're opportunist?
Yeah.
Secret
so there's some things that you can do there. Vinda the Dancer is a classic. They can't mess with success.
Yeah, I don't think it changed at all.
Well, I think it went down 10 points.
Oh, okay, cool. Is it 30 now? Because I think it was 40 before.
Yeah, it's 30 now. So every 2 hits you do, that the character stand does during a clash or duel, you get 1 additional attack roll. The additional rolls don't generate any additional attacks, but on something like Conanier, that's gonna... So this is one of those ones where it's like, this was cool in situations where like just volume was going to be the deal, but now that the Conanier is built in, like Cleave 1, Terrifying 1, Vinda gets good.
Vinda kills. This is terrifying.
That's 30 points. That's that's the pick of the litter, I think, in terms of the weapons, if you have 30 points to spend.
Oh, 100%. Godspear is still also pretty good, though.
Yeah, Godspear is a good... I think that's the weapon pick for non-Conanier
Well, you slap 20 points for a Jarl to get to Cleave 2? Done.
Yeah. Or even, as crazy as it sounds, putting it on a Volva, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Pairing Cleave 2. Like, it's maybe not optimal, but it does... So what it does... In my experience, playing the big brick of Valks is that you're usually using your blasts on the defense. So if you can squeeze a little bit of extra output into that character stand, then because she's an okay fighter, like she's not the best, but she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way to get a little bit of an edge if you're just grinding out another big brick or anything like that. So I don't think it's the worst thing. Like it might not be the best choice, but if you only have 20 points instead of 30, why not? You know,
Yeah,
you could not spend those points. It's not bad. It's good for its cost, I think. And there are a couple of different, like getting it on the Jarl is good too. Sorry, I forgot to address that specific part of the point. Like, obviously, that's a great one because it synergizes with what he's mostly going to be doing. But I really don't think it's a terrible idea on the Volva in the end, because having 4 decently good cleave 2 hits in a protracted combat, like, that might get you through that resolve break point where you can actually start pulling them down.
Yeah. No, it's good. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Or yeah, there's only 9 treasure troves now. I think it's a good amount because each of them. The only dud, I wouldn't even call it dud, is Coils of the Serpent out of all of them. I find all these have a place somewhere.
Yeah.
What's nice. It's way better than before. Because before there was a lot of duds.
Yeah.
Alright. You want me to do masteries?
Yeah.
Give yourself a
let's
little
give
break.
everybody a break from me.
No, I'm just mostly for your voice. Alright, so Teachings of Mahheim. We got Lessons of the Jotun War, which is 30 points. It's the Connie and Jarl only. Once per battle, at the beginning of this character's activation, you can change the character's travel tactic to the end of the battle. Okay, but I think you're taking Opportunist anyway, so sure.
Yeah.
Then you got Wreath of 100 Blades, Mortals and Exalted characters only. The regiment this character stands currently attached against the Dauntless, so they can't be broken and they're always inspired. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Dauntless is, like, there's reasons to take that.
Well, then we got the Northern Sagas, what are written in bone. The regiment this character stands currently attached to ignores the effect of special rules or abilities that would have them count as less stands for the purposes of seizing objective zones, or none at all. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's gonna come up a huge amount. I know there's a Dwag spell that can prevent you from scoring. And there's probably a couple other little things, but like I haven't seen a ton of it, to be honest. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. That's not it. That's not the move.
Yeah. Then we got Ancestror's Blessing, what's for the Volva and Shaman, and you get Bastion 1 draw event. So you can still get to defense a billion with your goddamn Velks, and we know it's only going to get higher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tales of Savagery, Half-Blood characters only. Friendly Half-Bloods in this character stand's warband may perform impacts when charging through pieces of terrain. I think... Let me just check your army rules, because there's something in here. Regiments and army charging through a piece of hindering terrain can benefit from the Inspired special rule. They suffer half wounds. Okay, so now they get their impact attacks. Okay, that's good. So your boars? I guess your boars get their impact attacks and whatever else. But like you're not... How many impact attacks are on the boars? That's my question. On the hogs. Goater. That's Fenner. Fenner don't have any impact attacks because they're wolves. Goater have 3 each. Brutal, Linebreaker, Tramp. Okay. I don't think you're taking that one super hard, to be honest. And then, what else we got? Pack Tactics. Half-Blood characters only. Friendly Half-Bloods in this army lose the irregular special rule. Oh! Okay, that's kind of interesting. So you can, like, skyrocket your reinforcement line right up the table.
Yeah, they are afraid of this one at 40 points.
I can see this one getting out of hand quick.
Yeah.
I can see some players taking advantage of this one pretty quick. But I think Dauntless is also another good choice. Always inspired and then having Can't Be Broken, that's always solid.
Yeah.
So, like, there's still good stuff in here. I like it. Talked about spells. Okay, let's get to the new favorite unit, Raiders.
Regiment, up 10 points. And then 40th stand, I think it was 35 before to reinforce them. But absolutely worth the value. So one of the big things, movement 6. That's crazy.
Were they movement 5 before?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I think all Nords is movement 6 now.
Yeah. Otherwise, their stat line is unchanged, but they still have Flurry, which is tremendous because they go up to, on the Inspire, they go to Clash 3, and then you're flurrying, so you get a really solid amount of output. 2 impacts as ever, but now Tenacious 1, so they're going to last a little bit longer, which was normally what was not good about them.
Also,
and
built-in Standard Bearer.
Yeah, built-in Standard Bearer, so that is an upgrade from where they were at before, but that kind of happened across the board. The Raiders can take a Shield Biter or a Captain. Those have changed a little bit now. So the Shield Biter, the regiment's command stand can die fighting as if it was a character stand, regardless of whether the regiment has acted this round. And in addition, currently attached character stands may die fighting, regardless of whether the regiment has acted this round. So it's basically like a regiment-based Dwagified version of that other ability.
I like it, but I feel you want to buy a bunch of captains.
Mm-hmm.
The captain gives your command stand 1 additional stand for the purposes of seizing objective zones. So now your lights can score for 10 points.
Yep, that's really good too. I feel like you don't necessarily want to throw it on every regiment just because you hit a point where you're no longer using the Raiders in a way that they're very useful for.
Well, when they charge an enemy on an objective zone, they'll get 1 for seizing. And then if they win that fight and are just sitting there, then if they have the captain, they can just sit in the back and just score.
Yeah.
But they're a really good unit. I like them a lot. Raiders are good.
Yeah.
What's next on
let's see. Sorry.
Does it literally just go to Bocho?
Yeah. Bochosen, so they are
they are exactly the same.
Oh shit, except they get okay, so that's a little bit better. So you just choose the opportunist's ability and then everybody in the warband gets it.
Yeah.
To the War Brethren. So that's better. I feel better about. I mean, it's still not.
So Connie has Bochosen mainstays, so he takes 2 Bochos, 3 3 Bochos. So he takes 2 Bocho.
2 for sure, maybe 3.
And he just gives it to all his Bochosen, or he sits in Steel Chosen and 2 Bo, a Steel, and an Ice, and that's his warband. I don't know how you're gonna build it, but no, this is really good. You could just give these guys opportunists.
Yeah.
I still hate these things. I hate these things so much. Do you have banners? Wait a minute. Can this thing even take a banner anymore? Did it even have banners to begin with? Is the next
question. They never have, because that would be too good.
I just noticed they didn't have banners. Stalkers, built-in banners. Good for you. Did they go down in points?
Yeah, I think they did.
They lost Vanguard, gained Opportunist baseline, went down, I think, 20 points? I think they were 160 before. Yeah.
Yeah. Werewolves, 170 points. They have Regeneration 3, Impact 3, Terrifying 1. With the Vargar Lord, I mean, their movement 7, which is, I think, always been the case. 5 wounds, 6 attacks. So with the Vargar Lord giving them Flurry, actually not bad now.
These guys change it all. That's the weird thing. I wanna say there was something about them before.
Yeah, something has definitely changed. I just can't think of what. But I mean, the overall package within the greater context of the army and what you can do with them makes them a much better pick than they were before these revisions.
I'm scrolling an old document. Blah blah blah. Oh my god, so much. Stalkers, werewolves. They had Bloodlust is gone from the game, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Did they? They're no longer fearsome. And they have 5 wounds instead of 4. I think that went through before, though. Yeah, no, they're... Them losing Bloodlust, I think, is huge, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. I like them.
Yeah, I would run Wereworks now, whereas I wouldn't have before.
Well, because Bloodlust fucked them so hard because they were Resolve 3.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much of a risk to not be able to use that regiment.
Especially since they'll just get blent, which is, of course, the past tense of blend and not blended, which you thought it was, but you were wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah, they get blent, though. Or they did, but not anymore, because now you're in control.
Thanks. Huskarls haven't changed.
Yeah, $1.50, 50 a stand. I feel like there might have been a little bit of an adjustment there, but I don't know.
I don't think they changed at all. There was nothing.
Well, let's not dwell on it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, Thane and Scalad haven't changed. It's still Bastion and plus some Resolve and Bravery.
Yeah, I think now though, like the difference is now you almost never take the Thane because you want that Bastion on the Velks, and then you never have to compete for it anymore.
Why not? You get Bastion on the Velks, you have to take the character upgrade, the Mastery. So
which I would do.
Yeah.
No, but I mean it's just this way. Like so I don't think that there's necessarily a strong case to have. If you're going to be running both, and I've been looking at lists that have just some Huskarls just to kind of do some medium guy stuff. Not like a big block of them or anything, but if you drop the Thane, then you only have one thing that needs Bastion activation. Like
I think you just take them
priority.
raw. I think you take Huskarls raw and you throw in a Connie.
I think the Scald is good just so you don't have to worry about them breaking. That I feel like is where the value comes from there.
Yeah. That's like 20 points you can like spend on an upgrade. Like
that's true.
Was it that spear, the God Spear? That thing fucks. So like that. Do you give these guys +1, or do you get a Jarl a God Spear?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's fair.
Trolls? I don't think Trolls have changed. They might have gone. No, they haven't gone. They have not changed.
I think they went up 10 points. I'm very positive they were 170 before.
Don't make me fucking check the old document again for the 3rd time.
Well, you don't have to. I'm saying it.
Yeah, but they would have
just
it in
believe
red.
Me.
Why didn't they have it in red?
I'm sure they were 170 before.
Oh, they probably were 170 at one point. Oh, they were 175 at one point. No, they were 180 before.
Oh, I don't believe it.
I'm the one who has the old documents. What is it? Ufnir? These guys finally got an upgrade. Thank fuck. No longer Bloodlust, got Vanguard, thank goodness. And Movement 6. They're much better.
Oh, my headset died big time there. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, sweet. I'm basically talking about the Ufnarl. They went up March, or they were always March 6th. But they now no longer have Bloodlust, what's really good. But the Savage upgrade gives them a free additional charge action during its activation. So they can take a Savage to get better Bloodlust.
That's crazy.
And Tenacious 1. So they'll stick around a little longer, what's good.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your babes. Your babes are up.
Yeah, so Valkyries, I mean, I don't think they've really changed much.
No.
Same deal as ever. Support 2, Bless, Devout, Shield.
But everyone has built-in standard bearers.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't need to stop and talk about that every time. It's just across the board.
I'm just looking at it. I'm just kind of like, damn, they could have gave everyone built-in standard bearers, not just Nords and Madrune.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to come in time.
I know. It's just like, it's happening. It's like, okay, you gave it to the 2 factions that got reworked, and everyone else still has to pay for it. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes, I guess. Fender Beast Pack. They're the same deal they always were.
They're still good. Take them.
Yeah. Uger, nothing really discussed there. Bearsarks are better because they're movement 6, and they have Tenacious, and they have Vanguard, and they have Savage, so insanely good.
Don't have Bloodlust.
Yeah, and they have a great value at 170 points. Why wouldn't you run an MSU of them and have fast? And especially because now you like throw the Jarl in there, forward force them, get them auto in. It doesn't you like then you have there's no downside to taking them. As far as I'm concerned, I think they're huge now.
They've really fixed a lot of Bear Shark problems, and they're going to be usable now.
Yeah,
I've seen an opponent roll Bloodlust and not get it twice in a row, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna have my fun now.
yeah. Even at Resolve 5, it's tough. Which I guess they've gone down to Resolve. It looks
They
like
have. They're Resolve 4 now.
That's fine. It's not the end of the world. Steel Chosen are now an amalgamation of Steel Chosen and Blade Chosen, so they are movement 6 like everybody else. They're Flurry, Line Breaker, Impact 2, 180 points. They get automatic benefits of Tribal Tactics even if they don't have a character attached. They can take a Shield Biter, which fine, why not? Well, no, I wouldn't really probably, but you have the option. They're good.
Yeah.
You want to run that?
They're a little low on the defense and evasion, but 5 wounds and 6 attacks, they'll kill.
As long as you get them in there, they'll do the thing. Especially and Line Breaker and Flurry, like they've got good output. Golter. So if you want to throw Hog, which who doesn't? Yeah, I mean everybody.
I remember when these things used to explode. They used to have lethal.
Yeah. Now they
Now they're just shocked.
Now they don't.
Yeah.
So they have Brutal Impact 1, Line Breaker, Trample 2, Regular, and Impact 3. Solidly decent stat package, a lot of 3s, and then 4 wounds and 5 attacks. So they're not super resilient, but they do have a little bit extra output. Generally average across the board stats. So I think there's a good value for 160 points. I think you definitely, if you're doing like a Blooded or a Varger, then why wouldn't you?
I don't think anything's changed on the Sea Jotnar.
No.
Mount Jotnar had a bunch of changes though.
Yeah.
This guy, he's back at the top at 210. So he went up what? Another 20 points?
Oh yeah, because he was.
Yeah, but now he gained Harden 1, and
yeah,
I think he used to be 18 wounds. Yeah, he's a little tough boy at his 18 wounds.
Yeah, he's a good option now. And Ice Jotnar.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He hasn't changed. That's it for Nords. A lot going on. A huge rework. I like them.
Yeah,
I do like this one clip in the section of rules in a nutshell. What to keep in mind at the very bottom. Melee-focused character stands might not have special abilities to use when drawing their command card, but their placement in the command stack is still crucial. Strategically timed character activations force your opponent to play their cards before your key regiments activate. This tactic is incredibly useful in Conquest, the last argument of Kings, and mastering it can make the difference between a good player and a great one. By the way, the developers are telling you what to do with your melee characters. It's okay if they don't do anything. They're just dead draws. It's fine.
Exactly.
I love that was put in there.
Yeah.
All right. Nords done. I like new Nords. What about you?
Yeah, I think they're great. I'm really excited to play them.
Do you wanna do some of the other factions before we hit on Wadroon, or do you want to get into Wadroon?
So might as well get into Wadroon.
Okay. Make sure that you're still good to go because it's going to be a lot of you still.
Yeah. This is turning into. This was going to be a quick one.
No, it's never going to be quick. We both know that. If you want, we can do the other factions quick and then get back to Wadroon and end it strong. Or we just do Wadroon. No, let's just do Wadroon.
Yeah, so Wadroon have had a lot of changes as well. Their war chant mechanics were overhauled entirely. So now the war chant rules just got cleaned up, so I'm just going to read through them because it's easier than trying to summarize like what changed. So essentially, and I'm just going to read the text from the rules. War chant. One of the distinctive features of the Wadroon is their war chant. When creating your army list, each character stand must select to follow the Cult of Famine, Death, or War. The only exception is the army's warlord, who may choose to follow the cult of conquest. All regiments in that warband follow the same cult as the character stand unless a special rule dictates otherwise. Items, masteries, and other rules may later change a character or regiment's cult to conquest or another cult. However, the initial choice remains unaffected for the rest of the warband. Chant in sequence. At the beginning of the battle, designate a visible area outside the battlefield where you will be placing chant markers. This designated area is now considered to be your sequence. At each of your draw command card steps, once a regiment or character stand currently on the battlefield has been selected to activate, add a chant marker to your sequence belonging to that regiment or character stand's cult. A sequence can only hold up to a maximum of 3 chant markers. Any additional chant markers added may replace an existing one in the sequence, otherwise it's discarded. Chant the battle cry. At the beginning of the regiment's resolve draw event step, but before resolving any draw events, if there are 3 chant markers in the sequence, you may chant the battle cry. You can only chant the battle cry during regiment activations. Follow these steps in order to chant the battle cry. You may exchange any number of conquest markers for an equal number of famine, death, or war markers in any combination. Choose a cult. Select a tier from that cult and discard as many markers as markers required as seen on the battle cry table. Gain the benefits of the tier you chanted at as well as the one before it. The bonus of each tier is cumulative and will last until the end of the round unless stated otherwise. Finally, remove the unused chant markers from the sequence. Chant markers removed in this way are considered unsung. Finally, certain abilities or special rules may introduce new chants that are not included in the battle cry table and perform separately. These chants work just like regular chants, with the only difference being that during step 3 of chanting the battle cry, these chants will require a specific combination of cult markers to discard and provide their own bonuses. You will be able to identify these chants by the indication (chant) next to their name. So then we get to the table of the chants. So this has been overhauled considerably. There used to be 3 tiers of chants, now there's only 2. Fanatic has been removed, so that doesn't come up. So they kind of break down as follows. So on the so first off on famine, tier 1 is that the non-light regiment's command stand counts as 1 additional stand for the purposes of seizing objective zones. And at tier 2, the regiment adds +2 to its charge distance. I don't think tier 1 matters that much. It'll give you a little bit of an edge, but I don't like I believe they call it Scornergy with the tier 2 because, well, I guess not so much. Like if you use it to get on and then you have the additional seizing ability, but once you're already on the zone, then I feel like
it'll push you over or at certain times. It's not a bad tier 1, but you're mostly looking for the tier 2 stuff or the regiment specific chants when we get to them.
Yeah. So on death, the non-light regiment's command stand counts as 1 additional stand for the purposes of seizing objective zones. And tier 2 death, the regiment gains untouchable special rule. So I mean, old death was way better. This is fine, but tier 1 is just the same on all the same. Conquest. Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's all the same. Yeah.
So tier 2 of war then is cleave 1, which is nice. That's a lot of regiments will benefit from that. And then on the conquest tip, so tier 1 is +2 to its march for the first march activation during its activation. And then tier 2 conquest is add +2 to your evasion characteristic to a maximum of 2. So you used to be able to go up to evasion 3 on conquest, so that's been reined in a little bit. It looks like they don't really want stuff getting into evasion 3 too easy.
Well, because you would have like contours and apexes going up to evasion 3, and it was like, god damn it, my cleave means nothing now.
Yes, that is correct.
And then the reduction of the movement on conquest is to keep things not shooting up the table and being like, pow! It's like, god damn it.
Yeah.
They're all kind of basic to be honest. But it's when we get into the rest of the faction and the regiment-specific chants, and I believe chants from upgrades or characters where it gets more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't mind this. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but you can chant as you come onto the table now.
Yeah.
And you could have, like... You can't chant the turn you come on with that regiment. So you could have, like, 2 regiments come on, their characters go, and then that 3rd regiment get the chant.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Yeah, so there's a
they
thing.
took that away, and then now we have it back.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to get into, and I like that the chart here is broken down so that you can just kind of do it. And also, you don't lose markers or are forced to chant.
Yeah.
You just kind of hold.
Yeah. It's it definitely is an improvement on the previous system, even if the chants themselves have been reined in quite a bit.
Yeah.
So now, furthermore, when you choose the cult, choose the cult of your warlord.
You mean the cults of the Yukon Fazine?
Yeah. You can select essentially, or what you can do is you get up to 2 of that cults chosen as mainstay options.
Yeah, I like this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's good.
A lot because it gets the cults out of Scions and out into the streets.
Exactly,
And it's want the cult of war.
Yeah, it helps with the build diversity quite a bit, and it's good. I think list design just because it lets you do sort of what you want to do. So it's a great one. Supremacies have been overhauled quite a bit. So under the Matriarch Queen, when a regiment chants the battle cry anywhere on the battlefield of any cult, it immediately loses its broken status. The supremacy ability is always considered to be active, regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed. In addition, once per battle, the Matriarch Queen can activate the Supremacy ability. All regiments currently on the battlefield have their command stand counting as +2 stands for the purposes of seizing objective zones until the end of the round. So you can get,
light
I
scoring.
think with that, yeah, one sweet turn of light scoring, which...
sometimes that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings us to... the Chieftain. Concentrated Assault. The range of the Chieftain's crushing force changes to cover the entire battlefield. Furthermore, the Chieftain's tempo now affects all friendly infantry, the tribe's regiments in the army. The Supremacy ability is always considered to be active regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed.
I have no idea what that does on my head.
Yeah.
So, crushing force. I'm just going to read it off quick.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Crushing force is the friendly tribes regiments within 10 of this character stand. Chant the battle cry gains impact +2 until end of round, and tempo. Friendly infantry, the tribe regiments in this army gain, the character warband gain vanguard. So that changes it to, where is he? His crushing force. The impact thing is the entire battlefield, and the tempo affects all friendly infantry. Okay, so all the infantry gain vanguard. Oh, look, they put the Imperial Officer Supremacy on the Chieftain. Cool. The old, thanks, PB. Love it. Fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
I have no reason to be upset about it.
Every time I have read the Wadroon changes, I just get more and more annoyed. Where I'm like, grumble, grumble, grumble. Because I'm just feeling all the 100k hate, and I'm just like, God damn it.
I mean,
it's
good.
I
think
it's very good. I know it's very good.
I just, I think at some point or another, everybody has to wait to get their,
get their toys.
Yeah, exactly.
They can have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, so I'm sure. And the thing is, I'm quite positive that when you do get that glow up, it's gonna really, gonna be a big goal. piece of shit to deal with. So
Good. Well, because I've been watching it be taken away for the past little bit, and I'm just like, God damn it.
no,
I'm interested in how it goes because, like, Nords and Wadroon look very good right now. Like, incredibly good and incredibly fun to play.
yeah, they both definitely do.
Okay, Thunder Chieftain. Tell me about him. Because his is also very good.
Yeah, the big chief. So Thunderous Assault. When this character stand is on the battlefield, all friendly the speaker's regiments gain the shock special role, the supremacy. So that's just what you have always wanted from him. Shock.
I would like to tell you something about the speakers. That affects the Tauntor and the Apex, if I recall correctly.
Damn.
Yeah, so they gave
That's
shock
insane.
back to 2 out of the 3 monsters. Well, I guess the Quaddle's there, but I don't really count that thing.
Yeah.
Is Thrill the Kill better?
Let's have a look. So, when an enemy regiment is destroyed, immediately add a chant marker of any cult to your sequence or the army's warlord cult. Should the destroyed enemy regiment was in range, or should the destroyed enemy regiment be in range of an objective zone, I think is probably what they meant. Add 2 chant markers of any cult instead. The supremacy ability is always considered to be active, regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or haven't been destroyed. I don't know about this one.
It's better than before, but I think you just have better options with the rest of the like already. I would take Thunder Chieftain, and even the Queen over this guy right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. And then we go to the Scion. I think it's the same deal. They just cleaned up the wording of it. So it you just play whichever command card you want on each activation, and then it changes it so that you get a conquest marker instead of a normal one.
Cool. It's not bad, but I feel like you're going to be going between the Queen, the Chieftain, and the Thunder Chieftain 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So, yeah.
It never ends for you. What is the Queen doing these days?
So
you can just say her changes because I think it's only her new draw event, and yeah.
Yeah, so she gives her unit her regiment Stoic, which is Indomitable 1. She still has the heal. She still cleave 1. That's that.
She did something more. Select a friendly within 10. Heals 4. Each regiment may be the target of the last draw event only once per round.
So you can't double mommy it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which, got me thinking. Nonetheless, so moving on to the Chieftain. So we've got he's the Chieftain. He'll cleave 2, flurry. But now he gains Tribe's Pride, so veterans get flurry. That's not bad. Tempo gives them Vanguard, which is pretty good.
And then if he's the Warlord, he gives everyone who's a Tribe's Vanguard, and everyone who's a Tribe's Crushing Force with +2 impacts. Yeah,
so I feel like this is the if you're gonna run infantry, there's your guy.
Yeah, he's really good. Vanguard Slingers, I've heard, is very like, it's not as oppressive as it used to be, but it's still very good.
Yeah. Thunder Chieftain, I think, is back in play because he gives flank to the Thunder Rider regiments.
He always gave flank to the Thunder Rider regiments. He now has shock to all the speakers.
Yeah.
So his shock affects more things, so he's kind of back up there.
Yeah. But otherwise, his stat line is pretty... I'm not seeing... Nothing is leaping out to me as being too out of control. I think they took... No, never mind. I don't think so. Whatever. Predator, still the Predator. But now you get Ceaseless Hunt for free.
Yeah, was it? I thought it was a choice. It wasn't actually points.
So originally it was points, I think. Or maybe it was auto in, but before you could choose between Sure Shot and Ceaseless Hunt,
Yeah, okay.
and now you can't. And then I think there might have been a period of time where it was Stoic and Ceaseless Hunt, but I could be wrong about that. So now we've got the Mounted Predator. I don't know if she's got bespoke rules really as of yet, other than just she gets expert hunters, so friendly the speaker's regiments in the warband ignore the effects of hindering, dangerous, broken, and perilous terrain.
Cool. So
Yeah, it's not bad.
Raptors aren't getting screwed over. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Winged Predator. This is probably something you've been excited for.
Yeah. So the Wing Lord Predator, so a regular Barrage 6, that's 14 inches AP1, so decent. Fly, Fluid Formation, Cleave 1, Impact 6, Movement 9, 11 attacks, 16 wounds, 3s across the board except for Evasion 2.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a good stat line. 210 points.
Still very.
In another army, that would feel a little expensive, but in Wadroon, it's kind of just what you're paying. So for what you're getting, it's very value. Like it's a perfectly fine value. Mounted Hunters means that they get a free volley action during the activation, so that's outside of anything. Bird of Prey, once per round, when the regiment marches over a size 1 enemy regiment, it inflicts 5 hits. These hits count as originating from the enemy regiment's flank and do not trigger morale tests. So they've had some version of this rule since the very beginning, and this is the latest refinement of it. Death from above, the regiment gains the Brutal Impact 2 special rule until the end of the round when performing a successful charge on an enemy regiment's flank or rear arc. Not bad. It all depends on how skillfully you play it, though. The character and all friendly the speaker's monster regiments in the army gain access to the following chant. Predatory Shriek. You may chant this battle cry by discarding 3 chant markers of any cult and any combination from the sequence. This regiment gains the terrifying +1 special rule until the end of the round. This character cannot be the warlord, must include at least 1 regiment in its warband. It's considered to be a regiment by itself, in addition to it also being a character stand, and therefore uses all the relevant regiment rules as though it was a monster regiment. It cannot take artifacts or masteries.
And he cannot. Oh wow. Okay, so it's a character monster. So you could hunting pack, double hunting pack, wing lord, and quaddle. This thing's mean.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
So you could double march. So you could shoot somebody, double march over them, and then fluid 180, and then next turn shoot them in the ass, and then charge them in the ass with the terrifying and the brutal 2, and do a bunch of cleaving crap to them. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So this thing's mean. I'm glad that you could actually attack it and it's not airborne just flying around doing stuff. I knew before it didn't have any melee attack, but it was uninteractable before, but now you can actually interact with it because when it does land and fluid and do its stuff, it's gonna be super annoying, but you can kind of drag this thing out. Also it scores because it's medium.
Yeah.
It's a mean guy.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
I like it though. I would not. People are gonna buy this thing, 100%. This is like the Jotnar Seder guy. People are gonna buy this thing. Don't worry, PB. People are gonna buy this. They're gonna buy quaddles. People are gonna make all quaddle lists.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna move quaddles. Scion, I don't think really.
He did.
His spells got changed, but the guy himself is just. I mean, it looks like he's got Blooded and Braves now, which he didn't have before. I don't think.
Did he? No, I thought he had Blooded. He had Blooded before. I know that. He might have gained Braves.
I thought it was just Chosen and then the cults.
No, he had Blooded before because he was released before the Chosen of Conquest, and he needed a regiment to sit in, and it was the Blooded before.
That's fair.
Yeah. Let's go read his spells really quick.
Yeah. So the spells, he's gotten I mean, they're just getting Cacophony changed to Gunspell is huge for him.
Yep.
So having that just is honest. I think that's something that every spellcaster just needs to have. Like, I think before they didn't want to do it like that, but it's you gotta have that Gunspell. Crescendo is
The same.
has been changed quite a bit.
No, this is the same.
I don't know that it is.
Add chant marker to the sequence secret. Look at the top 3 cards of your stack and put them back in any order. This has been like that for a while.
No, it's been a
Yeah.
while since I played with Rune. Okay, well,
You've been Nords maxing for too long.
It's true. Too close to the sun.
Dissonance has changed though.
Yeah, until the end of the round, when target enemy regiment chants the battle cry, currently engaged enemy regiments do not benefit from the inspired special rule. Timing is a little fiddly, but
yeah, I don't see this one being used very often. Just because
no, it's very, very. There will be one time when it works really well for you, and that'll skew your perception of it. But overall, I don't think it's a very niche situational spell.
Because it's currently engaged, so you're already in a fight before you cast this. That's the issue. It's you have to cast this, then, but that time your opponent's going to attack you anyway because they want to kill that thing if it's a major conflict, and you're just going to take damage. And while you could have just activated that regiment and done a bunch of damage first, so yeah, it's still the timing is a problem.
Yeah, as always. Discordance. This one is actually cool.
Good. Yeah.
Target enemy regiment cannot seize objective zones until the end of the round. Can't argue with that.
Oh, it's good. And on Attunement 4, that's super good.
Yeah, I mean it scales, but still. Resonance, target objective zone. Enemy regiments in range of the target objective zone gain the Decay 2 special rule until you're not going to use that.
No, this is bad.
Yeah, that's not enough decay to be useful.
Also, the enemy regiment has to be on the zone of time of casting, but really sucks. So you can't pre-set it up and have your enemy run on it and get Decay 2.
Yeah,
they have to be on it before, and at that point you might as well shoot the gun spell at them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the dud in the list.
Yes. So moving on to the units. So the Braves lost Bloodlust, which
you
is
gotta
a big
do
one.
the artifacts.
Oh yeah, right.
You gotta do artifacts, the masteries, and then the unit.
Yeah. So
gotta stick with the game plan here. I gotta scroll by the Da Vinci withdrew 3 more times.
Yeah. Well, the Vitruvian mommy is actually a great addition to the rulebook. They knocked it out of the park with that one.
I do love that they added that in the rulebook. It's so good.
Yeah. So yeah, Roar of the Tribe. When the infantry regiment this character stand is currently attached to chance Cult of Conquest at tier 2, gains the Bless special rule until the end of the round.
For only characters following Cult of Conquest. Super good.
Yeah, that's you're gonna use that. Getting blessed on something is never a bad thing. Scars of Endikar. That's characters following the Cult of Famine only. So when the regiment this character stand is currently attached to successfully performs a charge against an enemy regiment within range of an objective zone, the regiment gains Terrifying +1 until the end of the round.
It's good, because your Thunder Rider maxing may be a thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think
Famine Riders may be a thing.
Yeah. So then we've got Death's Gaze, called to death only. The regiment that the character stand is currently attached to gains impact 3. So
I'm not super into this one, by the way.
No, I don't think the days of the
coming off Blessed, coming off Terrifying 1, this one's not really piquing me because it's not even impact plus, just 3. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. You can put this on a big Brave block or whatever.
Yeah,
it's still good. It's still good.
It's fine. I don't think that we have to rely on the Brave block anymore.
Yeah, so because you would death them, you would chant death for unyielding, and you hit them with the impact. Yeah, I could see it, but there's cooler stuff going on.
Exactly. So we've got the Horn of Ronin, named for Thunder Rider Kid.
Good job,
The
Thunder
living
Rider
legend.
Kid.
Yep. Cult of War only. When the Cavalry Regiment, this character stand is currently attached to Chance the Cult of War at Tier 2, gain Trample +2. So, yeah.
Okay. It's very obvious where this is going. It's very
Yep,
obvious what this is doing. And Jesus Christ.
Yeah, really nothing to... no mysteries there. That's good.
Yeah, this is... It's so good. Because what? If you have a big brick of Thunder Riders, like 5 plus the Thunder Chiefs, and they all get impact +2.
Yeah.
I think they're all impact 2 base. Oh, it's going to be so many fucking impacts. There's
it's wild.
6... 12... Was it 6 times 4? 24? Ugh. At least it's not doing Resolve anymore, but still,
Yeah, it's nasty.
I don't like this. This is too good. Thunder Rider Kid's too powerful.
Yeah. That's valid. So going on to the next page, we've got the Beads of Death. Regiment this character stand is currently attached to gains Tenacious 1, so...
We know that's good.
Yep. Yeah, Tenacious is never bad to have. Might not be your first choice, but it's not a bad choice.
Yep.
Brood of Amora. Classic, iconic upgrade for the orcs.
It's
Ladroon.
a weapon now. What the heck?
Yeah, that I noticed has been moved into the weapons. And we're not really honoring the categories as we've been moving through these, but that doesn't matter. So with the Brood of Amora, the character stand changes its type to Cavalry. It gains Brutal Impact 2 and Impact 4. The character may not purchase a mastery from Ways of the Speakers. So you don't get all the benefits of being a Cavalry, but you do get those Brutal Impacts and the Impacts, and you can attach to a Cavalry unit. So, I mean... Oh, I think it got its points dropped too, so actually it's more
20
takeable
points,
than it
yeah.
ever has been. Yeah.
But also, because you don't have speakers. What's the speaker shit in the master? Oh my god. Speaker. Okay, so you get... There's a bunch of other masteries you can take on top of being a brood. So
Yeah.
now that for some reason a dinosaur is considered a weapon. Hide of the Silent Hunter gives your regiment an opportunist for 15 points. That's pretty good. Wasn't this way didn't do much before?
Well, it gave you Bastion +1, I think, or maybe just Bastion
okay.
1. So it was you could do some interesting things with it, but generally speaking, there was always something that you want to take more.
I could easily see a Predator grabbing this, throwing it in, going to unit slingers, and just opportunist slinger.
Oh yeah,
people that's just an easy combo, especially for 15
bananas.
points. That's a steal.
Yep. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. So then we've got Death's Reach. So that's Predator and Mounted Predator only. Character adds +1 to its attacks and gains Cleave +1 for 20 points. I don't know that it's the best value out of these items.
I don't think the Predator wants it. The Mounted Predator maybe.
Yeah, but I just there are better things that you can get for around 20 points. So
yes, like Hide of the Silent Hunter and Brood and Kiss of the Dillosaurus.
Yeah, so Kiss the Dillosaur. Enemy regiments and character stands must reroll successful defense and morale test rolls when inflicted hits by this character. I think it was only defense before.
Yep.
That's way better for 20 points.
Yep.
Done. Just to go across the hall and you find something nicer.
Yeah, you can take it on anybody.
Yeah. Tribal Spear. When the regiment this character stand is currently attached to is within range of an objective zone, it adds +1 to its attack characteristics. So
that's really good.
I mean, for 20 points next to Death's Reach, there's no reason to take Death's Reach.
Yeah. Kiss and Tribal Spear outputting more. Death's Reach, you're stuck to the Predator, the Mounted Pred.
Yeah, you're stuck to the booklet of army abilities because it's never going in a list. So we go into the masteries. They're broken down by
the Yukon Vaccine.
Cult. Yeah.
Oh, and Way of the Speakers, but that's just Ride Dino.
Yeah. Rider Dino.
Do you want to drive a car today? Yeah, I'm gonna Flintstone this thing around. Can you imagine if that's how the Wadroon like move their dinosaurs, just with the
There should be.
Flintstones feet?
Yeah, there should be like a tank or a chariot. The chariot is just like a platform, and just 4 guys are just running. Not like a platform, but it's like a
just a rectangle.
just the sides. Yeah, it's just a rectangular pen, and then 4 of them are carrying it and running.
They sit on a beam and they just kind of like run with their feet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so for the teachings of conquest, the masteries that you have access to are vision, which character stands in this army gain the forward force special rule. So across the board, that's
good.
That's takeable.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a big surge right at the beginning of the game. No reason. And so that, I think, is maybe a situation where you want to come in, like, have vision, have the thrill of the kill or whatever ability where you can pop that one turn and seize, and then just forward force your dudes on right at the start, get them into position, pop that turn, get a crazy score,
oh my God,
and then try to ride that momentum. But then there's adaptability. So when the regiment this character stand is currently attached to chants the battle cry of any cult at tier 2, target non-friendly objective marker within 6 inches of the regiment is immediately destroyed. So I like the idea that you yell at the objective marker so loud that it just dies. That it just breaks.
Can you imagine the chief just walking up and he's like, he just hits it with one of those.
Hell yeah. It reminds me of when they would show the Breakfast Club on TBS on TV, because they would cut out the part where they would get high on weed.
Oh, really?
So what would happen is it would go to commercial and they weren't stoned and everything was normal, and then it would come back from the commercial and they were going crazy and there was no reason for it. It was just like it went to bedlam, and they're like hanging out and laughing, and like the jock guy is like running down the table and he screams so loud that like a window breaks behind him. And anyway, this ability now to me is just the cut weed smoking scene.
That's what the true teachings of conquest were. Dude, you want to smoke this doobie with me? Hell yeah. Okay, what are the teachings of war?
Teachings of war. Authority. Hate that. I mean, I'm sure the ability is good. It's just, I'm not a fan of
now we're just doing it.
Or authority. Blooded, brave, and veteran regiments in this army cannot become broken even when another rule would force them to do so. It's expensive, but like...
it's good.
Yeah, that's not being broken is great.
Yeah, like
it's
running big blocks. Just even your MSUs are still going to benefit from it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Resilience. Thunder Rider regiments in this army gain hardened 1. That's probably good. I mean, if you're building Thunder Riders, that's what you're gonna take.
100%. So good.
Then we got Teachings of Famine. So on that side for 30 points, you got Drive, which is regiments in the Warlords Warband gain the Cult of Famine battlefield role. Infantry Cult of Famine regiments in the army gain Vanguard. Not bad.
Okay, so regiments and the Warlords Warband gain the Cult of Famine battlefield.
Yeah, and then infantry with Cult of Famine gets Vanguard. So conceivably, any infantry in the Warlords Warband will get Vanguard.
But you already have the chieftain who's giving Vanguard to Speaker. No, the tribes. I'm trying to see how this fits, and I'm not pulling it together.
I think it's for when I think it's one of those ones for when you're not using him.
But it says Warlords following the Cult of Famine only, so it has to be on the Warlord, who's a fan.
Yeah. I don't know.
Someone in the comments explain how Drive works to me, because I'm not getting it. Because it
I'm
does.
gonna need to mess with it to figure out how it works.
You want to bother
Um,
Apex Chinchilla?
Like what? You want to bring him in live?
He's an insomniac. He's probably still awake.
Okay, that's funny. I think that's a funny
He can
idea.
explain it. I'll be like, "What are you doing?" It is a Friday, and he might be like hanging out or something. He's got his own life with his real life apex predators. Okay, well, he's not replying. That's fine. Yeah, someone in the comments or on the BonkTable Discord, if you want to join that, explain this one to me because I don't get it.
Yeah,
Here's
it's not
five.
clicking for me, but I need to do some. I need to fuck around with list building for a while. This is the first actual good look that I've taken at these, but then we got history. So once per round, when regiments in this army chant the battle cry, any unsung chant markers may become famine chant markers and immediately return into the sequence. It's a 10-pointer. I don't know. It's
So it preserves your famine chance or
yeah.
turns stuff into famine chance if you're not like doing tier 3s because like the chants get interesting on the regiments when we get there, and I believe they're only like you only need to spend 2, but you spend all of them if you have 3 because you've been saving. So then you can like recycle back into your pool.
Mm-hmm.
For 10 points, that's actually like pretty good. I don't
Yeah.
mind that at all.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got blood, 30 points. For every 2 enemy stands, a non-monster Cult of Death regiment destroys. As part of a charge or a clash action, it adds +1 to its evasion to a maximum of 3. So you can push up above that too. Till the end of the round.
I don't mind this, but there's times I feel like this is not gonna get off. Like this is trying to like get back to that old evasion 3, and you kind of have to work for it. And I feel it's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah, you're paying quite a bit for what also has an additional layer of opportunity costs. So.
For every 2 enemy stands, a non-monster Cult of Death regiment destroys part of a charge or clash action. Adds +1 to its evasion characters. So this is on each individual regiment, and you got to be killing your opponent. And so if you're killing an MSU, you're only getting evasion +1.
Yeah.
So, but it's only specifically on death. I think the Cult of Death guy or ladies, my bad, there are ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever they are, I found the Chosen of War, and that's it. We're the Chosen of Death, guys. Hello. Why are they not all chosen? That's so weird.
Yeah.
They are evasion 2 base, so like I could see you taking it just for the Chosen of Death because they'll kill an MSU and then go to evasion 3. So it's easy on them, but I feel like some other regiments like Blooded and Braves will not get work out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Apex has come back. He's explained it a little better, but it is doing what we think it's doing, where it's giving Chosen Infantry Cult of Famine Vanguard. This is for the drive teaching of famine, but it's basically a worse version of the Chieftain Supremacy, so there's kind of no point in taking it.
I mean, I guess if they're not taking the Chieftain as your guy would be the one, and you can still find a reason to get use out of it, I guess is the deal there or something. I don't really know.
Shout out to Apex Chinchilla, who runs Chanting Conquest. Listen to his Wadroon breakdown. He did.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the last one? Kier? The regiment this character stands currently in gets Deadly Blades. It's back! Tier 3 death is back! Yeah. And it's always on for 15 points. That's worth it.
That's great. 15 points. Yep. That's an easy one to take.
Way of the Speakers is all 10 points, and it's basically character, ride, monster. Done.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Stands that have selected a mastery from this category may purchase one additional mastery. In addition, if this army's warlord has purchased a Way of Speaker's mastery, when all monster regiments in the warlord's warband have their reinforcement roll, value adjusted by +1, a roll becomes less, a 4 or less becomes a 5 or less. Roll of 6 is always a favorite. Roll any regiment affected by this mastery in a separate pool. So if you have characters riding monsters, they get a +1 to their reinforcement roll if the warlord purchase is also riding a monster.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. It gets all your like big stompy monsters out on the table if you have characters riding them and the warlords riding them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good. Talked about spells. Okay. Now we can get on to regiments. Now you can tell me about Braves.
No more Bloodlust! They got a bunch of their officers cut too, so now it's just aberrations across the board.
What's this thing do?
I think that actually changed too. Let's hit the books.
I love how there's one page for officers. It's just the aberration itself.
Yeah, it's and it's not even that good. It just gives you one extra token per shot.
Yeah, okay. I'm not spending 20 points on that. I'm sorry. Guys.
No, that's worthless. Sorry to say, I don't see it. But that's fine. So you don't have to worry about spending those extra 20 points ever. So no worries there. There's still support 2. There's still shield. There's still D2. It looks like I think got their resolve up by 1. So I think they were 2 resolved before.
They might have been
because they were a big liability with the Bloodlust. That was part of their thing.
Oh yeah, and Bloodlust is gone. Woohoo!
Yeah, 5 attacks, 5 wounds.
Also, everyone got built in Standing Bear. Woohoo!
Yeah, so they're actually decent line infantry now.
I like them. They're good.
I still generally prefer blooded, but
they were always good before. The problem was them failing a Bloodlust and kind of being trapped to either you have to get them into position, then pass their turn until you charge. But now you can kind of get that finagle, that little bit of maneuverability without just like having them run off the point or doing something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
Blooded lost the champion. Blooded lost the tracker. Oh,
yeah, no more flanking in.
No
but
more
that
flanks.
doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
They also cost slightly more on the stand than Braves do, so they're a little more expensive if you're taking more of like bigger than MSUs. But otherwise, it's the same cost. So you really are picking what specialization you want for your line guys at that point. Otherwise,
you take Braves because defense 2 with a shield, and you're only down 1 attack, and you're gonna get more than like the blooded because the blooded would take the champion, get up to 7 attacks each, and that's where it like really got ridiculous. On top of all the +1 clashing stuff, but like I think you start leaning into Braves now, to be honest, for your mainline infantry.
So on like at this stage, yes. I think once I get a chance to mess around, and we'll talk about this in the next episode when I've had a chance to, because now that I've read the book, I might as well. But I think you can stack buffs on them that probably make them more attractive, just through the other like abilities and stuff. But that's something I need to like dive into to get a sense of before I can really say definitively. But yeah, I mean, probably you're gonna want to, at that price point and everything, take Braves. Generally speaking, support 2 is a very underrated special rule too.
It is. I feel for Braves you want to run them under Death or War just because of Cleave 1 and Untouchable is good for them either way. Like you could famine charge them, but I feel like there's other things you want to famine charge.
Yeah.
I like yeah. Sorry, Blooded, I feel like your time in the sun is slowly going away.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Vets.
Yeah, so veterans 170, 50. So they are their special ability got modified a little bit. Now they add 1 additional chant marker to the chant sequence belonging to either their cult or the Cult of Conquest, so they don't just auto chant anymore. Which I think makes them.
Yeah, because before they were auto chanting tier 1 on whatever their cult was.
Yeah.
But
So
now, yeah,
it's
I still think
yeah.
they're good. Also, without that Bastion or I think +1 defense from War, a lot of Adrune defensive stats have dropped down. Like 2
Yeah.
with the shield, there's a lot of 2s with the shield, a lot of 3s, so like they're
Yeah.
a lot more killable before, because before it was like defense 4 with blessed, and it was like, god damn it, killing these guys is gonna take forever. What's
Yeah.
next?
So they're I mean, I don't think they're as attractive as they used to be. Getting the flurry on them is okay, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing crazy. Hunters were good, and they remain good.
Yeah.
They're good ranged hunters, I think is where they really excel.
Counter shooting, because that loose formation, they're good at counter shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Run
what I
up and
mean.
just kind of, yeah. No, I agree with you. They're still good. Okay, slingers changed.
Yeah. So slingers no longer do morale. But they get their full when they chant the battle cry, they get their full effective their full barrage range is effective range, so it gets torrential fire and extra hits, so they become nasty. They lost one barrage in the deal.
Did they go? They actually go down? Oh, wow! They're not just fucking pelting me to death with goddamn stones. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It was so brutal before. Yeah, okay.
No, they're still really good.
Yeah, they're still really good, but they're now.
Because I mean, they're going up to 4. Like,
but yeah,
they're always in effective range as long as you chant. And why wouldn't you do that?
No, they're. I like new slingers because it's easier for opponents to play into them, but they're still going to do work.
Yeah. So we got the Chosen of Conquest. So they always have to follow the Cult of Conquest, can only chant from the cult they follow, and when they chant the battle cry, they get a third action. So that they're really doing the same thing that they always were.
Yep.
Still 6 wounds.
No, they went down. They used to be 7.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. They're a little easier.
Still good.
Because 7 wounds is on. They used to be also like evasion 3. So 7 wounds on evasion 3 was just awful to kill. But now I think they max out at evasion 2 with Conquest, if I recall. Let me scroll up. Yep, max out at 2. So 6 wounds. So they're gonna die quicker than they were before. But they're still gonna just like come from downtown and just chop into people. This is still a really good unit.
Yep. Chosen to Death, they got touched compared to pre-release, so they are 6 attacks, 5 wounds, 3 resolve, 0 defense, base evasion 2. Clash 3, they get flawless strikes, flurry, and loose formation, so they are very killy. And then when they chant the battle cry, they get +1 evasion. They can only chant death, but they get +1 evasion up to 3, so they are still crazy.
So
they
they're gonna
cost
be
a lot.
3s re-rolling 6s.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah.
And then you take what the 15-point deadly blades on them and just watch them explode people. The flurry. Because 6s make 2 wounds, and then they'll have like a bunch of attacks coming in. So when people roll 6s from their bajillion attacks, yeah, Chosen of Death are gonna kill some people.
Yeah. I don't think there's any point in going over preview rules.
Is this Chosen Famine? Oh, they are preview. Yeah. No, I don't. I agree. Skip.
So Warbred, they lost Burnout and gained Juggernaut, so they always get their march distance is always +5.
So they lost Burnout a while ago, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Juggernaut's a good rule though.
I like it.
It's like Warbred and Thunder Riders who got it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, you have you have a guaranteed. What is it? So you could chant them in. No, because your first march. Is Famine your first charge? The Regiment gains +2 to its charge. So could you tie that with Juggernaut? That's my question. March value +5 is not affected by the rules that would add or reduce it. Okay, so you can't
Yeah,
famine the
no.
Warbred.
No.
And they're class 3 base now. So they actually hit stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, Warbred are very good.
Yeah. Hunting pack, they're pretty much the same deal, but now they add chant markers. That's really the big difference, I think.
It counts being size 1, cannot chant the battle cries range. Oh, yeah. Sweet. They're the little barks of joy.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with that, but nothing to write home about either. Not a big change. Raptor Riders, they went to. Well, the main thing is that they get a free volley. So now that their shooting went up by 1. So it's actually, it's still just barrage 2, but and it's short range, but it is AP 1. So it's at volley 3. It's not terrible.
So here's the thing: you can like march fluid free volley. No, because that's 4 actions. You're only stopped by 3. So you could like run up, shoot, and then shoot fluid and then run away and kind of like harass people until you want to charge them for that. Well, they have flurry base, they don't even have opportunists until you just want to clash into them or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're hyper mobile now. What's nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. They're still lights. They can't.
They're better.
They can score with the queen, but or whoever takes that 1 mastery, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they're not scoring off of chanting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're still not necessarily the best choice, but they have been made more attractive with the changes.
I think people are gonna play them.
Yeah.
I think people are gonna start playing Raptor Riders more, and they're gonna be effective. They're a great harass unit now.
Yeah. Thunder Riders are good again. They have Juggernauts, always +5. Should the regiment perform a march action immediately followed by a charge, the regiment gains brutal impact 1 until the end of the round. So they're just deadly, and then if you build into it, they just pulverize anything that they touch.
So Parabellum, I'm gonna be a bitch here. Parabellum nerfed 100k cavalry because people didn't like march charges. Parabellum gives march charges to Thunder Riders. Thank you, Parabellum. I'm just being annoyed because I'm reading this and I'm like, wow, Crimson Towers, I wish you could do something similar and be as effective. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, good job, Thunder Riders. You guys are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're in a pretty good spot, but I mean, lots of people spent $180 on Thunder Riders when they came out, so...
Yeah, and I bought 4 boxes of Crimson Towers when they came out, and 2 months later they were nerfed? Like, yeah, I'm still annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 years, still annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's evident.
Yeah.
Chosen War. It annoys me when the model is not out. But anyway, 200 points. Cleave 1, Linebreaker, Shield. They got tuned down quite a bit because they were like D5 before with the Shield. Yeah. Unstoppable, Impact 2. They can only follow the Cult of War. They can only chant from the cult that they follow. When they chant the battle cry, they get an additional Cleave +1.
They're still really good.
Yeah, they're still 100% worth taking.
Wart is the artifact that gives Blessed again. Where are you? I know you're in here. Roar the Tribe. It's Cult of Conquest only. So could you take a Scion? Who can take War? No, because you can't fit in them because they're brutes. Are they still brutes? I gotta scroll down. They are still... Yes, they're still brutes. Okay. I was looking for it. Okay, so you can't give them Bless. So, like, they're strong. They're going to be good. I like what they're doing. You can kind of run these guys as an MSU, just run around beating up, like, getting into fights and, like, brawling with people. I really like that about them. Like they have a great stat line and abilities to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Apex Predator.
I don't think it
I don't
changed.
think it. Nope.
It's still
It's
good.
pretty much the same deal. Yep, still a good deal. Contour. Sorry, 1 sec.
Okay, bye. So, viewer or listener or whoever, what are you doing? You enjoying this? Is that it? You like this? This is it. This is the whole thing. We're gonna do all of it. We're already like 3 hours and 20 minutes in.
Yeah, I know. This is.
I'm here for the long haul.
This is not. This unfortunately has gone awry from my perspective, but nonetheless.
We're almost done.
Yeah, maybe. So Tantor, dominating presence is its chant. So you can chant it by any 3 markers of any cult in combination from the sequence. That makes it count as 2 additional stands for the purposes of seizing objective zones. In addition, until the end of the round, the monster stand ignores the effects of special rules or abilities that would have it count as less stands for the purposes of seizing objective zones, or none at all. So it always can score.
Also, it's always inspired. They just gave it inspired as a rule. I just noticed that. It doesn't have a special rule that says it's always inspired. It just has inspired all the time.
Yeah.
You can't change its march characteristic or march distance. Cannot be negatively affected by abilities, special rules, or terrain.
Yep, counts as 6.
Yeah. So what? It's 6 base and then go up to 8? Oh my god.
Yeah.
This fucking thing is gonna be terrible to deal with.
Yeah, it's rough. Quaddle. So Barrage 5. 14 inches armor piercing 1, fly, fluid, cleave 1, impact 6. It's a regular. It's move 9, attacks 9, 15 wounds. It can perform a free volley action. It's got bird of prey, so once per round it can do the rake attack across a regiment that it flies over.
Size
And
1
then
or
death
less.
from above. Yeah, so it gets brutal impact when it charges the rear of the flank. So just the Wing Lord Predator Light.
It's a medium. It's a medium monster.
Yeah. Then we've got the Drum Beast. It's got the special rule Drum Beat. When a friendly regiment, including the Drum Beast, currently within 10 inches, adds a chant marker to the sequence, it may immediately choose to add an additional chant marker. Drum Beast has access to the following chant: Primal Cacophony. You may chant this battle cry by discarding 3 chant markers of any cult in any combination from the sequence. Enemy regiments currently within 10 inches of the Drum Beast must use the lowest resolve characteristic in the regiment. And then it's got Towering and Marching Giants. Yeah, that's an interesting ability.
I like it. I still feel like the Tauntaur is going to come out on top compared to the Drum Beast.
Oh yeah, it's an easy pick there.
All right, Wadroon is done.
Yeah.
What do you think of Wadroon?
I mean, I think they look great. I mean, some people have been complaining about it, but I don't really see what the problem is. Like, there's lots of depth and a lot of modularity and granularity and good granularity to the list buildings. So
yeah, they're in a really good spot, and I'm really happy to see them fix their army rule so it's a lot easier just to use and so I think a lot of people are just kind of go down a cult, like you're just going to pick a cult and just kind of build your army around that and play it out.
Yeah.
So it's good. I really like new Wadroon. I like new Nords. There's a lot going for, like, if the faction reworks as the game goes on is like this, from what we've seen from Wadroon and Nords, it's going to be very good for the game, and people are going to get a lot of new toys and a lot of new things to play with, and factions are going to really become their own and show, and I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Old Dominion.
OD.
You've talked a lot. I'll cover this one.
All right.
Okay, first thing. When the Fallen Divinity dies, you put all the power tokens from the Dark Power Pool back into the OG Dark Power Pool, so you don't lose all your tokens, and you're kind of not starting at step 1. Blasphemous Sona lost the +1 to reinforcement. Thank goodness, that was ridiculous. And what else we got here? Nothing much. Strategos gained forward force, and I think he gained an attack or lost one. It's 5. That is anything. Nothing really going on with the Mounted Strategos. Going on with the Hero Deacon or the Archimandrite. Fallen Divinity, we've already talked about you. What else is here? The Lego... Oh, can I even say this? Legio 1 Pergamena. It's like 20 points. The regiment this character stand is currently attached to counts as if it is under the effects of 1 Dark Power Pool tier higher than it is. It can't grant 4, so that's kind of nice. I think this used to be like Aura of Death or something. Or... Yeah, I think this might have been Aura of Death. Maybe. I don't remember. Then, what else is going on here? It shouldn't take too long, to be honest. Dark Immolation. Target friendly regiment gains Aura of Death +5 special rule until end of round to a max of Aura of Death 12. There's a lot of Aura of Death stuff coming, like going around. Changes for Old Dominion. I know we talked about some of them for Dwag. Curies. Okay, so Insanity changed. It's now increased range from 10 to 14. And affects 2 hits per success on target enemy regiment. That enemy regiment rolls defense rolls using their lowest unmodified resolve. Instead of their defense characteristics, wounds caused by the spell do not cause a morale test. This one doesn't level up as you go up Dark Power Pool anymore, so you're not hitting tier 3 and then blowing someone up because they rolled a bunch of 6s and they're taking like 4 wounds per 6, and so they just die. So It's been reined in a lot, what's kind of nice. Drain Will. Target regiment suffers a -1 to defense until end of round. That's really good. So both spells are very good. Mori's Translocation. This regiment immediately performs an out-of-sequence 8-inch march during all intervening regiments, character stands, under terrain, and they must be placed in a legal position at the end of their movement to not overlap with any other regiment stands. They can even use if they are currently engaged with an enemy. And if they do this, they can move backwards or sideways without having their march characteristics. And then the other one is they gain Aura of Death X, where X is the number of successes scored from Immolation up to a max of 12. Okay, so that was quick. For regiments, Cultists gained March 6 and Resolve 3. Loose Formation and Barrage 4. I'm pretty sure they used to be Barrage like 2 or something. It was really bad. And they also had a special ability to give more or make enemy regiments take more Aura of Death, and now they no longer have it because it was just a weird interaction. It was like that whole Scornergy thing. But also they have the Acolytes rule, so when the command stand dies, you gain a Dark Power point. Well, it's kind of one of their issues is that they never gave Dark Power Pool tokens. So now they do, but only 1 out of the 3. So still not bad, but they are 90 points, and you can put your characters in the light. Hashin just gain Deadly Blades and Acolytes as well. Cool. If I was an OD player, I'm probably not grabbing Cultists because Legionaries are... I think they're still 100 points and they still do the same thing, and you're just going to get more Dark Power Pool out of them. But there's maybe something for Cultists. I'm not so sure about Hashin.
Yeah.
For Curies, everything stayed the same, and then this regiment may perform a free spellcasting action during its activation using 1 stand as if it were the character.
That's just clean up.
So the 1 stand as per character, I'm not sure if that's like one of the stands is the casting origin kind of thing, or if that's how many, because they get 1 priest per stand to a max of 12. So you would only be priest 1 for the character? I don't think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure it's just like you can cast out of the regiment as if it's a character and you get a free spellcasting action. It's not an additional, so you can only do this once. But you can double march cast, so you can actually like long bomb like insanities and stuff, what's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for the Morai. So you could like run double march and then translocate and just like run through people.
Yeah.
So it's there. Legionaries didn't change. Praetor didn't change. Athanatoi, here we go. They actually got good now. They get a free standard, March 6, Clash 3, and Tenacious 1. So Clash 3 Flurry, they're actually good with their 6 attacks.
Yeah.
Clash 2 Flurry, they were not.
Yeah.
Still
Clash 2 3 is not.
They're still defense 2, so they're probably going to die, but they're actually going to get in there and do work. Tenacious 1 does help that. So New Athanatoi are good. I don't know if 170, I think they were 170 before. But 170 is still a little, maybe they're 175, but like it's still a little high, but they are viable. Like they're not going to just completely fail you and waste points now. So they're good for that. Let's see. Curidids and Canaphores gain the ability Divine Shard. So when a stand with a special rule is destroyed, if the power token gained from it is allocated to the Fallen Pantheon pool, so this is one for the Fallen Divinity, you add an extra power token. Because usually people grab a Fallen Divinity and then 2 Canaphores to like support it. So, you know, you can just feed it more as they die and do work. I like it. Eusepaloi got a little better. They're now Devout. They have Impact 3. I think they used to have Impact 2. And now they're Tenacious 1, so a little bit more durability. These guys are really good because they're just like Cleave 3 base. So they kind of just cut through a lot of stuff. But now they'll live a little longer. Bone Golems, Aura of Death 5, and their Memory Volt is Aura of Death plus 3.
Damn.
So you can like Aura of Death 5, draw event for plus 3, action for plus 3, so your Aura of Death 11, and then just hit them. So I think Bone Golems are going to be going to MSUs instead of like 5 blocks, but they're still really good. Bone Golems are great. What else? I think that's it. Oh, command models. Dark Cenifer, at the end of the round's victory phase, add 2 power tokens to one of the pools if your regiment's in an objective zone. I think that was like that before. And then Profane Reliquary, the regiment gains Aura of Death 4. Sweet. So, Old Dominion kind of fixed some of the things that were getting a little crazy. Didn't fix, but like tie an Aura of Death and then like smoothing out the Dark Power pool a little more. I like it.
Yeah, it's not a deep touch, but
no, but it brings them down because before they were just kind of running away with how fast they're bringing on all their really good heavies, and their durability was maybe I don't want to say like little too high, but it was sometimes just tough to kill them. So I get it. It's better. But then they gave Tenacious a bunch of stuff. So City States.
City States.
We're almost done. City States and Sorcerer Kings, and we can go home.
Finally.
I know, right? So Auxiliary Stands, Sacred Band Veterans got added. They're Class 3, 5 attacks and 5 wounds. They have Cleave 2. Their big thing is that they have Sacred Warriors. Friendly Sacred Band regiments within 12 may select this regiment as the target of their spells, despite the range being self. So you can start spreading around the Sacred Band buffs to anyone who has Sacred Band Auxiliary. I like that. It's a really nice change and kind of ties them all together.
Yeah.
The Aristarch, no, I don't think any of the supremacy changes. There's the Promethean Oracle. This guy has a supremacy. He's got bring back the children of fire. The kids are on the streets. Bring them back inside. Friendly Titan regiments gain the Priest plus 3 special rule. In addition, when a friendly Titan regiment activates from the strategic stack, that regiment counts as having 6 stands for the purposes of seizing objective zones in the end of round. The supremacy is considered always be active. So it's not plus 6, it's just 6, so it's not going to like stack on the Talos for 12, thank goodness. But giving the Hephaestion and the Promethean plus 3 priest levels baseline is also going to be super good. Eidolon went up to Resolve 4, and then he has the Dark Hand of the Skull Eye. This is basically like, if anyone's played War Machine, this is Prey, like Conquest version of Prey. So at the beginning of this character stand's activation, before resolving any draw event, select an enemy regiment on the battlefield, regardless of line of sight. That enemy regiment counts as having hunted for the duration of the game. This character stand cannot select a new enemy regiment to count as hunted until the previous one has been destroyed. Friendly Inquisition regiments currently in contact with a hunted enemy regiment gain Terrifying 2. So you're really just sending out your speedy boys with all their attacks to just really rip into a guy. you kind of run over there and fuck him up, and then you go pick a new one and do it all over again. I like that. It really gives them their whole role of being like the secret service of the city states, and just being like there is no war in Ba Sing Se kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I like that. You also cannot take more than just 3 regiments of Inquisitors. I wonder why.
Yeah.
What else happened here? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, yeah, a lot of it's still the same. Aristocrats, so you're all the same. You're all the same. Okay, so the Oracle. This guy's new, 280. I believe this is the exact same stat line as the Satyr from the Nords. He's got Cleave 2, Fearless, Harden, Impact 6, Tenacious 1, Terrifying 1. Yeah, all the same stats. He has Season New Future, so all the Titans gain Fearless while on the zone, and can ignore the special rules for having less stands for seizing. He's got Ancient Tactician, friendly Titan regiments charging through a piece of hindering terrain can benefit from Inspired. That's really nice. I like that. Makes them still effective if they have to go through zone, like hindering, because that's one of the ways to like neuter monsters is just prevent them from getting their Inspire. He's got Lord of the Titans. This explains how he works. He's a character and a monster. He counts as 6 for the purpose of seizing. He can take an axe. Yeah, he can take the axe and spear, blow up an objective, and take unyielding. His mainstay is the Promethean, and is restricted as the Talos and Hephaestion. So he's a medium, and he takes a Promethean, and then he takes like a Talos. So on turn 2, you're probably having him come on, and then rolling for your Promethean, and then your Talos is auto-inning, and then you're rolling for a 4 down on your Promethean. So like, you can get a lot of Titans on pretty quick.
Yeah.
For upgrades, standard of the last orientation is now 30 points. I think it dropped from 55 down to 30. What was like, it was insane that it was 55 points, even though people still took it.
Yeah.
It does all the same things. It just got cheaper. Thank goodness. Lightsaber still lightsabering. What else is on here? Hephaestion alloys is 10 points. Enemy regiments in contact with the character stand attached is the regiment the character stand is currently attached to reduce their aura of death by 4. That's nice. A little 10-pointer. I don't mind that at all. The modifications for the Eidolon, it's alternate Soma gives them Harden 2 and combat directives. Like, okay. Whatever. Get some.
Yeah.
I just gotta get some water in me.
Mm-hmm.
For the masteries, there's only a couple masteries here. We got initiative, what's 40 points. When the regiment this character stands currently attached to activates from a strategic attack. At the end of its activation, 1 friendly infantry regiment currently within 10 of it may perform a free out-of-sequence march or reform. This activation does not cause the regiment to count for its activations this round. So that's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's 40 points, so you can kind of like shoot up 2 things at once, or get that extra march from I believe it's the Aristarch who gives them the +1 march.
Yeah.
I believe expert scouts changed the master attack for the duration of the battle, regardless. Yeah. Friendly infantry regiments without the failing special rule that activate from the strategic stack gain Vanguard. It used to be everyone, but now it's specifically the strategic stack, so that kind of really brings it down. It did drop a bunch of points for that, but I do think you're still going to see expert scouts. You're just not going to see a whole, like, as crazy as it was before, where you're having like 90% of the list like Vanguard forward. It seems like they're trying to get away from just one thing giving Vanguard to everybody, and like you have to take the same regiment over and over again when it has it innately. So they're trying to tone it down or like control it a little better. Then we got combined arm drills, 30 points. All auxiliary stands in the army count as 1 additional for the purposes of seizing. This is actually very good. So you can get your lights, I think they're the Thordakides, and put in a Minotaur Thyrian with this combined arms drills, and now all those lights score. So this one's your big one right here, this 30-pointer combined arm drills. This is very good. Mechanist, basically a 2-minute range change on a couple of spells. Sacred Band, his Osmosis spell. The regiment gains Indomitable 3 until the end of round. Furthermore, the command stand counts as 2 for the purposes of seizing. That's good. And if you have the auxiliary, you can cast this on the auxiliary, so it'll be good for a bunch of other stuff. And lastly, he has his Molon Lab, what is a 2-minute 3, and it for every success you heal the target regiment by 1. So that'll also be really nice. They can cast it on themselves, they can cast it on other people. They're going to be a great support piece. I like them. So, Thorkides, the lights. You gain Vanguard, so you don't need extra scouts. Good job, guys. Salonin, you didn't change. Hoplites, Doralitos is 15 points, but remember, Phalanx gives them +1 resolve and +1 defense. So they're going to be defense 4 and resolve 3 from the front. So that's really good on them. Bunch of changes on the Phalangites. +1 attack, +1 clash, down. I think they went up 10 points, because it used to be 140. And they can take a Sacred Band auxiliary, so that'll be good for them as well.
Yeah.
Little better there. I do appreciate that and do like that, because they're supposed to be like the veteran Hoplites, and they were not the veteran Hoplites.
Yeah.
Ogma, you can take Sacred Band as an auxiliary. Sweet. Keep going down. Okay, so here we go. Sacred Band. This is the thing everyone wants. 190. They're a heavy. They're March 6, Clash 3, 5 attacks, 5 wounds, 4 resolve, defense 3. It's a very solid stat line. They are Priest 5. They are Devout, so they all got an auto success on themselves. It's really good. And they're Cleave 2. So already they're pretty good at killing stuff. And then they can perform a free spellcasting action during its activation using the command stand if it was a character. So it's not an additional. They can just do the 3. And I think this is basically how they cast. So you just kind of like March cast. I don't believe you can like March cast. Or would it be like that? I forget how this works. So they could March then cast because it's a free spell casting, but it's not an additional, so they can't like do it twice, basically. My understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always feeling, I was really hoping that you were more confident about that.
Well, I never play with it because I don't get any toys. Play 100k in Dwagome. It's like 2 of the most straightforward factions ever.
Please don't be so mad.
I'm not mad at all.
You're scaring the kids.
Is that what you call your cats?
Yeah.
Next thing we got is the Clockwork Hoplites. They're
Clocky Hoplites. Love them.
Yeah. I think they're literally the same as before, except they gained a shield. They're defensive with a shield. No resolve. They don't take resolve. They're 5 wounds, 4 attacks. Clash. I'm pretty sure you bring these guys to the Mechanist, who makes them medium, so they're actually they're on the table because they're Heavy's base. Companion Cab. Going to Clash 3 is really good. Clash 2 was terrible for them. 140, I believe they dropped down in points in Impact 3. And 40 points per stand. This will make them a lot better. They still kind of just die because of defense 2. But at least they're going to be doing some more offensive capabilities. Inquisitors dropped down by 10. No, they might have dropped down by 20 points. I think they were 200. And then their defense and resolve went up by 1. So resolve 4, defense 4. Really good. Like the Inquisitor stock is going up. Oh, they have Cleave 1. They add that? I think they added Cleave 1. I don't remember them having Cleave 1. So they're good. What else is going on? Hessian 11 attacks, Promethean level attacks. Talos went down in attack. He's 12 attacks, and I think he went up points. He's now 260.
Impact 5.
Yeah, Minotaur Thyrans have Tenacious 1. Oh, here, big nerf on the War Chariots. You can only have a max of 2 per slot. They're both the same cost, and the Flogablon went up from range 10 to 12, and the Scorpios went down from 16 to 14. And its exposed flank special rule must be within effective range, and they reroll defenses of 1. Should they originate from the flanker? So you can't just like scoot this thing at max range, shoot in the flank, make them reroll a bunch of stuff, and then run off.
Yeah.
Do they still have fire in advance?
Yep.
Where is... Oh, yeah, draw event, fire in advance. Okay, so they still have that. So they're still running around doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have the officer. The only officer that changes the Dorlites, or the Doritoes. When an enemy regiment successfully charges this regiment in the front arc, this regiment gains the inspired special rule until the end of round. In addition, should this regiment activate from the strategic stack, this regiment includes auxiliary characters gain relentless blows. I don't know if you're going to take this, to be honest.
No.
I like the changes to city-states. They've kind of brought up some of the things that weren't really doing much, like the Inquisitors, and like cleaned up a bunch of stuff that were falling a little behind, like the Hoplites with the new Phalanx rule. I don't know if Phalangites are playable still, or if you're going to take them. Probably. Like, I think people are going to play around with them, but not. I don't know if they're going to like put them in lists and take them to major events. Not super sold on them. Sacred Band look good. Clockwork Hoplites look good. Giant's good. Bringing in the Chariots is really nice because they're kind of getting a little out of hand. So yeah. Overall, oh, and Tenacious on the Minotaur. Is it on both Minotaurs? Just the one. I think it's only... Yeah, it's only on the one. Putting Tenacious on the Cleave 3 Minotaurs. It's nice. City-States is... I feel like every time Parabellum touches city-states, they just get like a little better each time, and they're kind of hitting their ultimate form. Also, more stuff has come out for them, so they actually like have all their toys, so they're doing really well.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
they've definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, they really have. I like where city-states has gone now. It's like it's in a lot better spot than when we did our vibe-based. It's in a lot better spot than when they were released or when they got buffs before and previous updates. They always seem to like keep falling behind. I have no idea why, but now they kind of feel like they're in a spot where they're actually like you're gonna see some good things out of city-states coming forward. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, Sork Kings, last book.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Oh my gosh.
I mean, this one luckily is so basically the character change, or the only character changes that I'm seeing here, is that they got the Maharati initiates.
What's good?
Across the board.
Sweet. Done.
Yeah, the patron's gifts. So the elemental tether all friendly regiments with the elemental special rule within 12 inches of this character stand counts as if they were character stands with the wizard 1 special rule for the purposes of determining a ritual's target until the end of the round.
Okay. I don't, because then you can kind of like shoot out rituals from that, like regiments within 12 of that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay.
Then the Purim Kanyar. Yeah, the regiment this character stand is currently attached to gains the Orb of Death 5 special rules. That's just retuning Orb of Death.
Yep.
Under the Masteries, Prince of the Setting Moon got retuned to 30 points, as with Vizier of the Morning Star. Best Money Can Buy has gone to 20 points. Favorite of Hormus, Maharaj only, 15 points. The character stand gains the Rider special rule and must choose to ride a Mahout in their warband, regardless of it having the Elemental special rule. The Mahout Regiment loses its Barrage X special rule. In addition, the Mahout Regiment gains the Terrifying 1 and Flank special rules.
Oh, there we go. That's good. And I think it went down in cost. I think it was like 20 or 30 points.
Yeah.
I also think Lord of Conflict used to be more.
Yeah, so Lord of Conflict, 10 points. This character stand adds +1 to its clash, attacks, and wounds characteristics.
Sweet.
Yeah. Elemental Feedback goes to 30 points. Elemental Projection to 20 points. Locus of the Elements is 20 points. Friendly regiments with the Elemental special rule within 10 inches of this character stand gain the Fearless special rule.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm glad that the point costs have come down, because they were high on a lot of these.
Yeah.
Except for Down to the elements, it's still 40 points to become a brute.
Yeah.
Still expensive.
In terms of the spells, like it's just that Wreathed in Flames, Ignite, and Wreathed in Fire all just adjust their Aura of Death to 4.
Yeah, it's fine. Ritual thresholds came down.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe some of them came up. Most of them are 5, except for the one that's 6.
Yeah.
Oh, because... okay. You can read these out.
Conflagration. So, I mean, the ritual thresholds for intrusive thoughts and incite rage are now 5. Conflagration is also 5. Friendly spellcaster, regiment, or character stand may immediately perform a free out-of-sequence spellcasting action for conflagration.
It no longer gives you the 4 auto successes.
Yeah. Fiery Dominion. Oh, sorry.
You got to roll for it now, so it's not just 4 auto successes. So there's a chance you could just fail the spell.
Yeah. Fiery Dominion goes to 6, Ritual Threshold. The target non-friendly objective marker within 8 inches of a friendly spellcaster character stand is immediately destroyed.
Yeah, that'll be used.
Yeah. Just another... It seems like everybody gets some kind of objective marker killer.
Yep.
And that's no different. On the Court of Air rituals, Farsight, Scythe, and Spiteful Winds all go to 5, Ritual Threshold. And on Farsight, you draw the next 2 command cards from your command stack, put them on top of your command stack in any order, draw, and then activate your next command card.
Pot of Greed allows you to draw 2 cards. I cast Pot of Greed to draw 2. You just spam that sucker.
Yeah.
Goals got better. Went from 7 attacks to 6, but got from Clash 1 to Clash 2.
So that's something.
Yeah,
some of those are going to go through.
They're actually going to do some damage. For goals. What else? The Initiates, they're going to be coming out. Yeah. So they have Arcane Conduct, so they'll add markers to the ritual when they're on zones. They're speed 6, 3 attacks, attack 5, 4 wounds, 4 resolve, 2 defense, and 2 evasion. So not a bad stat line. I feel like, well, because they're not going to suffer from cleave or anything, there's still 4 wounds on evasion 2. So they're susceptible to chip damage really easily from guns. And when they get into a fight, their rolls might not be that great. Yeah. They do have, they're like anti-magic boys, so when they become the target of a spellcaster spellcasting, they get +2 to their evasion, so they go up to evasion 4, and count as +5 for the purpose of scaling. That's really nice. That's actually really good against offensive spells, that +2 evasion. Mm-hmm. Then they're Children of Ash. During the list of select one of the following special rules. Oh, they become Born of Flame or Air. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, their disciples. Oh, sorry.
Big nerf. Yeah. No, go ahead with the disciples.
So they go to just 18 inches for their range.
Good. Super annoying when they were 20. Flamecasters. I think they went up to 170.
Yeah. And
gained 1 impact from 2 to 3. They were ridiculous before. They're still ridiculous. They're very good. Flamecasters are good.
Yeah.
Windborn, Barrage 3 to Barrage 4, still 190. I don't know if you're gonna grab these guys or not. I still don't think so, to be honest. I think Steelheart might have dropped 10 points, but went up by impact 1. They're kind of fine. The Mahut gained Arcane Conduit, so when it's sitting on its own, it can now add to the ritual. That's good on the Mahut. Good job, Mahut. Same thing for the Rashasha Bakasor and the Rasaka Ravnar, who also picked up Fearless, and they also wanted to resolve 4. That's good, and the Ravnar gained 12 attacks instead of, I think, 11. The Trinvana is not out, but it's 200 points instead of 220, and it's Volley 2 instead of Volley 3 with dead shots, because it's Volley 2 with dead shots. And Arcane Conduit, so you can get on zones and score. Besides that, that's it for Sorcerer Kings.
Yep.
I'm closing this down. We're done. We did it.
Yeah.
I'm
That
so
was
happy. Oh my
a
god.
marathon.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. I think I might be too old for this now.
Oh my god. Quick. I'm gonna use that Rick and Morty meme of like, oh, just quick review, in and out, 20 minutes. Us 4 hours later. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh.
legit.
Do you like the changes?
Yeah, I don't think there's really any bad ones.
So, even though I'm down on 100k and Dwag is stale, I do like the changes and I'm very optimistic for the future. And I think Parabellum's going to do really good for the reworks down the line for other factions. Like, we know 100k Dwag Home and Spires are all going to be getting reworks in the next 6 months, maybe 6 months until the summer or whatever. What's really good to see, because you can kind of tell that they're falling off behind a little, especially with the Oracle Titans running around, like those new giants and all the other crazy crap that's coming out of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see what Parabellum does, how they do it, and then to play with the new toys. Because like I'm a little jealous of Nords and Madroon right now, where I'm like, man, I want toys as well.
Yeah.
Yourself?
I mean, I think the changes are good. I mean, some stuff needs more attention now than the stuff that got attention, obviously. But overall, I think it's a big step in the right. Like, it's making the game a lot more appealing to play for me. So that's
I'm
a plus.
Like, if Parabellum does the same thing they did for Nords and Madroon to the other factions, I'm like, yeah, good. I'm gonna hit that print money button because like these look fantastic, and I want my toys to have them.
Yeah.
But Nords, Madroon players, you're in well for quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay, should we end her? Wrap her up? Can we go home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This has spiraled into other parts of my night, so I need to call it here.
You need to speed run the rest of your day.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to do more BonkTable related things, we have a Discord. It's in the description below. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. You can leave a comment. You can join us in the Discord. You can bother Cassandra on her Twitter. Is that all the plugs?
BonkTable Cast.
I
think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm done. I'm out. Like, just smash cut.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.